You are now watching the Movie Juice Podcast.
The juice is loose.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Movie Juice Podcast. I'm Dylan.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm James.
Movie Juice! Movie Juice! Movie Juice! Movie Juice! Juice the movie! Juice the movie! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Oh yeah! I just sound like I'm about to get it on. I don't sound like Batman at all.
Batman.
Oh yeah!
Batman fucks.
So does Nosferatu.
There's a couple times where I write he's coming.
I use it in my daily life now. Like that movie changed me, man.
Sick.
Anyway, what's up, guys?
Didn't know to respond to that.
This is our second episode of 2025.
Don't make it weird.
Third.
Oh yeah, third because the cum episode.
Yeah, Jeff put that together for
You're
us.
welcome.
Shouts out Jeff. Yeah, I was a little surprised for you.
Welcome back with you're back live with
See?
Cinematic Universal Masters.
Hey, see, we were just shitting around on that episode, and we didn't even know motherfucking Jeff was recording.
Yep. Cum.
I am
Yeah, we didn't know whenever we made the cum episode that Nosferatu was going to be coming like that, but you know, things happen.
Yeah, otherwise that would have been the best movie of the year.
Yeah, no shit.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, it wouldn't.
It was
have
kind of
been.
boring.
Very boring.
Anyway, what did we watch this week?
We watched the 20-year-old movie Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Damn.
It came out in 05.
I wish you wouldn't have started like that.
Well, hey.
It came out in 05.
Now I'm
Go ahead and
sad.
tell us the things, Dylan.
It came out in 05, premiered
What day?
May 31st, 2005 in Tokyo.
No, what day was that? Was it Tuesday, Wednesday?
Oh, fuck.
May 31st, 2005.
Bro, if a movie came out on Tuesday, that'd be so fucking weird. I would assume it was a Friday.
June 15th, 2005 in the United States, and the United Kingdom got it last June 17th of 2005.
It's Batman, isn't it? Fuck you.
The budget for this movie was $150 million.
Jesus
and
fuck.
box office, it made $373.7 million.
Well,
Okay.
at least it
Well, it did
doubled.
good enough to rectify a sequel.
2 sequels.
2 sequels.
A trilogy.
We're both saying the same
We're
thing.
all right.
We're all saying the same thing, just differently.
All right,
It
so
was directed by Christopher Nolan, just in case people didn't know.
did any of you guys go see this one in the theaters?
No.
Yeah, maybe.
I
don't
watched
remember.
it. My dad got the DVD for Christmas, and we watched it together.
2005 was so long ago, I honestly could not tell you.
I didn't go watch a lot of movies at the theater when I was a kid, so I feel like if I would have gone, I would remember.
I know we went sometimes when I was that young, but we didn't go nearly as much as like we did later on. Like maybe like 2008, 2009
Yeah.
we started going like every weekend because my dad just had the money to go.
Well, I remember I know that was the same year Revenge of the Sith came out,
Yeah,
so I know I went and saw it in theaters.
What a year for movies 2005 was.
I remember seeing Clone Wars in theater
also
because I
saw
fell asleep
Clone
with them mom and I left like halfway through because I was bored.
We were young though. We were really young when Clone Wars came out.
Yeah,
You
so
would've
that's what
been,
I'm saying. Like I fell
6?
asleep. I just remember being Clone Wars and I fell asleep, and we were like, oh no, time to go.
But either way, that doesn't matter because we're not talking about Star Wars today.
No.
Talking
Weird.
about Batman.
Would you guys recommend going and seeing this movie if it was in the theaters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, for sure.
As a Batman, I'm gonna say this a lot in this episode. As a Batman fan, yes. As a moviegoer, probably still yes.
Probably still, yes.
So like,
Yeah.
it's still a fun movie.
It was before the superhero craze even took over, so
Yeah.
there was no burnout.
Yeah.
So.
Like, I mean, really, all you got at that point is you got some X-Men movies, you got Spider-Man. Like, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man trilogy is still
Yeah.
going on whenever this comes out.
And like the big thing that I know Nolan was trying to do was trying to bring this into like the modern world, like if this actually happened in our world. And I think he did a pretty good job of that too. Like I think that definitely helps ground it a little more.
I agree, because it doesn't feel, not to get too into it before we start actually talking about the movie, but like Ra's al Ghul's in it, and he's kind of like he's almost like a supernatural Batman villain,
Yeah.
but really he's not at all in this.
Agree, they do him well.
They do a very good job of like you said, grounding him in reality.
And making it like a good movie for anybody, like like maybe not like young kids, but like kids, adults, they can all be like, okay, there's things to like about the movie
I agree.
that are not just he's Batman. Cool.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's Batman.
He's Batman, mommy.
I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like there are more good Batman movies than bad ones.
It's
I know
definitely one of the better ones.
I know that's a bit of a side tangent kind of thing, but
I have a note about comparing this one to newer ones.
Okay.
Later on, I'd like to talk about. It'd be cool. But other than that, yeah, I'd say recommend for sure.
yeah, me too. All right, so you guys want to go ahead and get into the movie?
Jump into the juicing process.
The
Yeah.
juice is.
Step up to the juicer.
Oh, I like that. We gotta get a bump for that or something. I like
Yeah,
that.
no shit.
Step up to the juicer.
Step up to the juicer.
So anyway, we begin with
Movie
bats.
starts. Yeah.
Literally.
And it creates the Batman logo.
Yeah, which is pretty sick.
Oh yeah, the WB and the bats.
Pretty
Yeah.
sick.
And then my first note says little kid running to greenhouse, because you don't know yet who the little kid is.
I just put young Bruce.
See, but you didn't know.
So put just Bruce in.
Oh, okay.
But it's fine. You do that. You do that with motion though. So to be fair, You're
Yeah, I
always
try to, like-
I don't know who this is yet.
I don't know who this is. Oh my god. And then he takes something from a girl named Rachel. Do you see that it's an arrowhead yet? I don't think you do.
No, I think he just takes someone and runs, and he says, "Finders keepers," even though she
Yep.
found it. He's kind of a piece of shit.
And then he falls through a hole in the ground,
Yeah.
like pretty much immediately.
That's what you get, thief.
And then she's like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" Basically.
No.
And she runs and goes and gets some help. And while he's getting help, bats attack him.
And he gets all scared.
And then wakes up. Turns out it was a nightmare. And then you meet Bruce Wayne as an adult.
Older Bruce.
Yeah, and he's in a jail cell.
And he's in some. I said he's in some third world country or prison or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
sums
Yeah.
it up pretty well.
both of those are correct.
And then he gets his shit rocked.
Yeah, except some dude like comes up to him and is like starting to talk shit because he's like Bruce Wayne or whatever.
Yeah. Like, what,
And,
what are you doing here? You're rich.
Somebody tells him that they're going to kill him, and he asks if they can kill him before breakfast because their breakfast looks really gross. And then the big dude calls himself the devil, and Bruce calls him Practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're practice.
Because Bruce is like a badass guy.
Yeah.
And then he proceeds to beat so many people's asses. And then he gets put in solitary.
Which this fire fucking line.
Because they put him in solitary to protect the other people from
He's
him.
like, he's like, well, why did he do anything? He's like, protection. And he's like, I don't need protection. He's like, no, not for you, for them.
Yep.
Because like as it's painted away, there's like 6 or 7 douches on the ground. Like, oh, he beat me up. And I was like, he rocked their shit.
And then this dude named Ducard shows up.
Liam Neeson.
And is played by Liam Neeson. Also, Bruce Wayne is Christian Bale, in case anyone didn't know that. And he says that he's speaking for someone named Ra's al Ghul,
He offers
Yep.
him salvation.
and says he knows Bruce. And then he mentions the League of Shadows, and he talks to him about how he needs to come up there and like grab a blue flower from the mountaintop and
Bring it to present it to Ra's al Ghul.
present it
basically.
to Ra's al Ghul. And then
Because like while they were talking, I wrote a note saying the dialogue in this film is very quiet, almost like watching Breaking Bad.
Yeah, because it's another one of those things where like I had to turn it down for the action, but then turn it up for the
Yep.
dialogue.
yeah, I think it's just like a way
I
that
think-
they made stuff back then.
I was thinking it had more to do with Max as well.
Maybe.
I think because like
Yeah,
there's
'cause
only a
Netflix is
handful
kinda
of
like that too.
there's only a handful of apps that do audio quality fairly well, and Max is not one of them.
No.
See, I watched it on Fandango because I own this movie,
Yeah.
and I didn't notice anything. So it might be the app quality.
Because I've been
Okay.
rewatching all the Harry Potters, and Harry Potter they're on Max too, and every single time, every one of them that I watch, I have to turn it down for the action because it gets fucking loud.
Those used to be on the cock.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were on the cock for a while because I watched some of them. But I also wrote down because I think Bruce mentions that the League of Shadows are like vigilantes,
yep.
and then I got this sweet quote. I think it's a quote
Probably.
because
I think I have it too.
like where if you make yourself more than a man
You become an ideal.
and devote yourself
Yeah.
to an ideal,
Then you
then
can't
they can't
be
stop
killed.
you.
Yeah, you
you
can't
become
be
something
killed.
else entirely. And then he says a legend, and I was like,
Ooh.
"Fuck, dude."
The legend
Hell
of
yeah.
The Legend of Batman.
Oh, and this is where he says it about picking the blue flower, carrying it
Right.
to the mountaintop to find what he's looking for.
And then we see him actually doing it.
And then he gets thrown out of a truck.
Yeah, I feel
And
like
there's a pretty cool shot while he's like walking up the mountain too. Like I wanted to mention that because there's some cool cinematography. We do that a lot in this bitch.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
I want to talk about it. Then he gets to a mountain village with flower people, and they scramble like they know he's a baller. That's what I wrote. I think
Yeah.
I was like half asleep.
Pretty much.
I don't know what that means.
I wish he was a baller. He probably wishes he was a little bit taller.
But then he like hikes up the mountain,
Yeah.
and he gets to the building where the League of Shadows are, and then guys come out with guns looking intimidating. He seeks the mean to fight injustice, to turn fear against those who prey on the fearful. He says that because I think they're asking him like what he wants.
Right. Like yeah. Like why'd you actually come here?
Then he starts talking to Ducard because Ducard is like kind of what you would assume is Ra's al Ghul's like right hand man, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
And they talk about how Bruce has to master his own fear.
Yeah, to manipulate the fear of others, you must master your own.
Yeah,
It's the actual quote.
Which kind of fucking fire.
Yep.
Basically, just like before you can inflict fear, you gotta conquer yours.
Yeah.
And then I think they start like fighting.
Yeah, because he says you are skilled, but this is not a dance.
Yeah, and then because at one point I think Bruce Wayne says that he's not ready, and Ducard
He's
says,
just like, I just hiked up a mountain. He's like, I almost out of breath.
Yeah.
He's like, death does not wait.
"Yeah, death does not wait for you to be ready."
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty
Because
cool.
whenever he said you are skilled, but this is not a dance, I think Neeson has a certain set of skills actually.
They make you a nightmare for people like Bruce Wayne.
And then he gets his ass kicked, and he gets asked what he fears, and then it cuts back to him being a little kid,
Yep.
Yep.
getting saved by his father.
Thomas.
Thomas Wayne. And this is when you also find out that it was an arrowhead.
Yeah.
Because when he was getting carried back in,
Yeah, and then he gives it back to Rachel.
he gives it back to Rachel,
Yeah.
yes. And his father says, Thomas says, "Why do we fall, Bruce? So we can learn to pick ourselves back up."
Fucking fire line.
And they say that a lot
A
in this
lot.
movie.
Yeah, they
And
do.
I think I write it down every time.
But it's fire.
Because it's fucking cool. When I used to watch the gym motivational things, they would always say that in there.
Why
yeah.
did we fall?
Yeah, I think that's why so many gym bros think they're Batman.
To be fair, though, I always think of Alfred saying it more because, like, just with his voice, is like, "Why did we fall, Bruce?"
Why do we follow Bruce? Yeah,
So we can pick ourselves back up.
I fucking love
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine's probably the best Alfred.
He is the
Agreed,
best
yeah.
Alfred.
Now, to be fair, I like the older one too, though. But like, I just think Michael Caine
Is great.
does it perfectly.
I like the older one too.
Because I think
And I
up
also
until
didn't
I think the
mind-
Val Kilmer one, I think, because then I think that's after he died after that. I think.
Yeah, so there's a different one in Batman and Robin.
No, I think he's the same. I think he's the same for all of those. I believe.
Well, Batman. I'm sorry to be like splitting hairs, but Batman and Robin is after the Val Kilmer one.
Yeah, that was George Clooney.
Yeah, and that's the George
That's
Clooney.
fair. I just think he's the same for all of them. But I think he died before. I just remember him dying at some point. But
I just
he's
remember-
in most of the old ones.
I just remember getting mad at Batman and Robin because of how shitty it is.
Oh, it's super
Yeah.
shit.
And it pisses me off that Batgirl's a Pennyworth for some fucking reason and not
Yeah.
just Barbara Gordon.
Agreed.
So fucking dumb. Why? Why do we add that plot device? Anyway, sorry guys.
Why did they add that whole movie?
Why is there nipples? Why is there nipples? Like,
Hey man, I would want my nipples to sit comfortably in that suit too.
That movie almost single-handedly ruined Alicia Silverstone's career.
you know they were gonna make another Batman movie in the 90s that was gonna have like Scarecrow and shit, and I bet you like an edgy 90s Scarecrow would have been cool as fuck. But since Batman and Robin sucked so much fucking cock,
Dude, that'd be cool because you could layer some grunge over Scarecrow, bro.
yeah, dude, they probably would have. Because I think it would have come out in like '99.
Dude, that would have been sick.
It would have been fucking cool. And they
Put some Limp
fucked it
Bizkit
up.
in that shit.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's all about the he said, she said bullshit.
Yeah,
Like,
fuck yeah,
it also
dude.
killed the guy that played Robin's career because he just had to be on TV after that.
Yeah, after that, all he did was like NCIS LA.
With LL Cool J.
And it's insane to. I know we're going on a Batman movie team.
I love it.
Yeah.
But we haven't watched any fucking Batman movies yet. But it's crazy to think that like that movie did so bad with the fucking 90s A-listers that are in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like that just shows how fucking bad that movie is.
Really, yeah.
Like, because Schwarzenegger's in it, Uma Thurman,
Yep.
George Clooney. I mean, and they just shit the fucking bed.
Yeah,
Hard.
Because honestly, Batman Forever's not that bad.
Like, they should.
No,
they
I like Jim
should.
Carrey's Riddler. I think
yeah,
it's pretty good.
I love Jim
actually.
Carrey. And like fucking
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee
bro.
Jones
He's
as
pretty
Two-Face
good
is
Two-Face.
also
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And Val Kilmer's not a terrible Batman. I hate they couldn't keep Keaton.
Yeah.
I wonder why that is. Sorry, Dylan.
I think he didn't want to make it without
Tim Burton?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Okay.
was
which I totally get.
because Tim Burton was the only one that was vouching for Keaton to be Batman
Yeah.
in the first one.
Because he was going to do a third one, but then I can't remember what exactly happened. But I remember something happened, and he had to scrap it. And then that's when he said that I'm not going to do
Because
it.
they were going to use Robin, and it was supposed to be played by Marlon Wayans.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, I remember
Really?
hearing about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Huh.
Like, he tested for the suit and everything,
Yep.
and they just didn't use it.
I do feel like, not to discredit Marlon, but I do feel like, what's the guy's name that played Robin? I don't think he was a bad
Not Jerry
Robin.
O'Connell.
Because it's the same guy in Batman Forever, too, right?
O'Donnell. Something like
Okay.
Chris O'Donnell, right?
Chris O'Donnell.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Jacoby O'Donnell.
I was like, I like that. That was funny. I was like, just give me a minute, and it'll come to my head because I know my brain.
You know who else would have been a good Robin? Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
Or Drake Bell.
Drake Bell also would have been he would have been a fantastic fucking
Yeah.
Robin. What the fuck? Why did that never happen? Anyway, where were we at on the movie?
We were at Thomas.
Oh, whenever he goes back as a
Yeah.
kid, why do we fall? I guess he's still hallucinating or whatever, or flashing back, because I know it's like the bats again.
Yeah, because I have in my notes Bruce is scared of bats.
Yeah, the bats attacked Bruce because they were scared of him, though.
Right, because his dad says, they were more scared of you, that's why they attacked.
And then his dad is talking to him about their Martha, and he shows him the pearl necklace.
Yeah,
And I just wrote LOL.
I literally put the infamous pearl necklace.
And then I put, now they're going to a place, maybe, just maybe, a show. And then while they're riding, like,
talking about the train.
they're talking about the train and how Wayne Tower is the hub of Gotham.
Yeah.
But Thomas doesn't work there because he's a doctor and lets more interesting people run it. That's what he says.
Yep. Apparently he built the train system or something like that.
Yeah, he helped fund it or whatever to make, and it comes back later. But that train runs to Wayne Tower.
It does come back later because my notes literally say train foreshadowing.
It does, yeah. Like everything kind of comes back together, and
Yeah.
I really like that about this movie. And then it cuts to them at the opera, and I just wrote, "Oh God, they're at the opera." R.I.P. Bruce's parents.
Because there's like bats in the opera, and it freaks little Bruce
Yeah,
I
out.
literally put in my notes, Bruce's parents secretly hate him. He's had nightmares about bats after the bat attack, and they take him to a show about bats.
I wrote, "Oh no, the poor baby is scared of the bats on stage, so now he and his parents
Hey,
are
man.
leaving. There's no way your cowardice is going to immediately affect your life in the biggest way possible and create your deepest regret for the rest of your life, you dumb pussy."
Hey man, nothing builds character more like childhood trauma.
Yeah, well, because he's a little bitch about it, he creates himself a lot more childhood trauma.
Oh,
To be
God,
fair
yeah.
though, it's kind of thematically pretty cool because like in the in Batman's origin, there's like a show of Zorro. So like at least thematically this makes more sense.
It
Like,
does,
you know?
but I still wanted to go on my little rant.
Yeah, no, I totally get
How
it.
little
I'm
Bruce
just
is a
saying.
bitch.
Oh yeah,
He is.
He is.
And then they get outside, and his dad said, and then his dad like immediately is like, "Hey, we're leaving because of me, not because of my son. I need some air." He does say that, just like
Which is-
trying to take up for his boy.
Yeah, which is not like that.
I appreciate that. He's a good dad. Thomas
Yeah.
Wayne is a very
Yeah.
good father.
Might have taken him to a
I
show about
literally wrote, they get outside, and his dad says he needs air to cover for the pussy boy Bruce.
No, that was the last cool thing he ever did as a father.
Yeah, well, because he immediately has a gun pulled on him, and I just wrote, "Good job, Bruce." Honestly, in this universe, Bruce.
Well, here, just let's keep going because in a second I'm going to counter your argument. But anyway,
All right, yeah. So Thomas tries to give the guy the wallet because he said like wallet and jewelry,
yeah,
and he gives him the wallet,
but he drops the wallet.
and he drops it, and then the guy tries to like
He's like, it's
go
okay.
for the
But
pearls.
before she's like, it's okay. He reaches down, picks it up, you can take it, and then he's like, I said jewels too.
yeah.
And then he points the gun at Martha, and he's like, no, like, and he steps in front of the way, and then he gets shot.
I just read my next note, and it's. I guess the lesson is, if you're scared of bats, your parents will die. I don't know. I'm not a pussy.
Because my note was Thomas's dying words are "Don't be afraid." My thing is, where was that lesson at before this?
Good point. Your fear, Bruce, got them into this. All right.
Maybe if you would have told him "Don't be afraid," maybe like a week or two earlier, you'd still be alive, buddy.
Yeah. Well, that's why when they cut back and he's talking about how he they're talking about how he blames himself because he thinks it was his fault.
It is his fault.
Yeah.
It is.
But then after that, that's when
100%.
we get a quick pan to him at the
police station.
right, and then Officer Gordon puts a coat over his shoulder.
I wrote, "Hell yeah, Gordo," comforting baby Bruce.
I put a little quote from the third movie where I just put a good coat over a little boy's shoulders to let him know the world hadn't ended. It's a little nod to Dark
Dude,
Knight
this trilogy's
Rises.
so fucking good.
It really is,
It is.
And then it cuts. They say they caught the guy that shot his parents.
Right.
And then it shows who you find out his name is Earl later, I think. The dude who runs Wayne Enterprises, because he comes and talks to
Yeah.
Bruce at the funeral, and he's like, "Hey, don't worry."
I never once wrote down that dude's name.
I think it's Earl.
Because he's,
tells
he's like the guy in charge of the board, basically.
Oh, my note for it says at the funeral, business guy tells Bruce
Business
the company is in good hands.
Yeah, I wrote funeral guy. That's pretty cool. Because I didn't get his name yet. But then it shows him like stoically staring out the window at Rachel because I guess she wants
Yeah.
to play or something.
And then she like waves at him,
And then a supper, and then Bruce blames himself.
and then
I-
Alfred comforts him. I thought that was really cute.
My
And I
parents
put,
are
"No,
dead. There's
Bruce,
no
you
time
dumb
for
bitch,
playing."
it is your fault." Like,
Because it is kind of sad as when he's like, it's my fault, Alfred. I was like, oh, I'm poor little guy.
it is sad.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know I'm making light of it, but like, I mean, if this was some real shit, of course it's awful.
And because even Alfred's like,
Yeah.
it wasn't your fault.
Hey man, it's weird that like in the past month we've done 2 movies with the main character having dead parents.
What was the other one?
8 Crazy Nights.
8 Crazy Nights.
Oh
and,
yeah, that's right. His
yeah.
parents were super dead.
But then we cut back to like the little training montage with Ra's al Ghul, and he basically
They're talking about his anger, right? Because he
Yeah.
says that he says his anger outweighs his guilt now.
Yeah.
And then Ducard tells him to.
Shit, my bad. I'm sorry. I spoiled it. Oh, my bad.
It's okay.
Spoiler
It's
alert
a
for the
20-year-old
20-year-old movie. My
Yeah.
bad. Because I noticed you guys were saying Ducard, and I was like, who the fuck's that? And I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I forgot. Like, I never got his name before
Oh.
the big reveal.
He tells him that he needs to confront his guilt, and he needs to be able to turn invisible and take on 600 men.
Yeah.
Which I was like,
you can take on 6 men. I will teach
Yeah,
you to take on 600 men.
My entire note for this scene was campfire advice time with Ducard.
Yeah.
Campfire advice.
He needs,
I like that.
he needs to work on his patience and his agility, and then he needs to become more than just a man in the mind of his opponent.
And then he basically says what every fucking Batman villain says. He talks about how, like, if you just put him in prison, they'll just break out again. He's talking about, like, how, like, you have to end it so that way it
'Cause
won't... Yeah.
they're talking about that criminal that they have there who was like a murderer. He's like a farmer who killed people.
Yeah.
So they have him like fucking tied up
Bruce is
there.
like, what's going to happen to him? He's like,
I mean,
what happens to all criminals?
Honestly, like...
I kind of get it. That's why I like the Punisher.
They're not wrong.
That's why I like the Punisher. The Punisher's like, I got to put him down for good.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much every villain I know of, they always escape.
Yeah,
always escape.
Joker makes fun of him for it. He's like, you put me in here, I was going to break out again, dude.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like,
And
sometimes you gotta finish the job.
they also talk about his parents' death. Because I think that...
Because this is while they're fighting, and he's like, your father's death was not your fault. It was his.
Yeah, he says it was his dad's fault, which I don't think is
and that
true.
pisses him off even more to go like harder.
But he says that his father didn't act, like he didn't have the will to act.
Yeah. He's like, I've had training. And he's like, yeah, it's the will to act that enables you to do that.
Oh yeah, because they're having that sword fight in like that. They're like outside in like some kind of pit thing, kinda. I guess it's like where they would go to fight. I don't know.
Yep.
But stronger. He tells him that he's stronger than his father, but he didn't beat Ducard.
Right.
Ducard beat his ass.
Well, because he like falls, but then he gets him into he gets Ducard down on the ground with the sword, but then he's like, I got you. He's like, no, you just sacrificed your footing.
Yeah,
For a
because he
killing
knocks
blow.
the ice out from underneath
Yep.
him.
And then he falls into the
Also
ice.
on like a frozen fucking lake.
Yeah, it was
okay.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Because he's like, you gotta mind your surroundings. And then after that, they're around the fire. That's where they kind of talk a little more because they're around the fire.
They have the campfire scene.
And he talks about how Bruce's anger will destroy him if he lets it.
They also mention wishing talking about the people you love, like wishing they never existed to spare you the pain.
Yeah.
'Cause, Ducard talks
Had a
about
wife.
his ex-wife.
Yep.
And
Well, I don't think ex. I think she just died.
oh, I wrote ex-wife. I don't know. I guess the way he was talking about it.
I think she died. I think that's why he does what he does because she died.
Yeah, he's like
Just like his parents did.
what does Ducard do?
Right,
Oh no!
Because like he's talking about how I once had a wife and then after she died, the League of Shadows taught me that we need to stop all these fucking people or whatever.
And they talk about vengeance.
Yeah.
It cuts to him coming home from Princeton.
Yeah.
And Alfred and him are talking. And you can tell it's younger Bruce, but he's still like pretty much an adult now. Alfred was gonna let him sleep in the master bedroom, but he says no because it's not his house. Like that's his parents' bedroom, whatever. Because they have like that whole little conversation.
Yeah.
And Bruce says that he would burn the house down if he could.
We tear this down brick by brick because that was foreshadowing.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Because I literally put my notes brick by brick foreshadowing.
And then Alfred tells him the importance of the house.
Yeah.
And Bruce gets defensive. And he's telling him, it's not your house, it's not your family or whatever. And then Alfred tells him how much he loves
Because
the
because
Waynes.
the person who it belonged to put me in charge of protecting what was important to him.
Alfred's a stand-up guy.
Yeah, real motherfucker.
And then you find out that he's there to go to a hearing, the hearing of the guy who shot his parents.
Yeah.
People care about what Bruce does with his future. I guess that's
Yeah, I was looking at my note too, and I wrote it down really fucking weird. But he's basically talking about how it's not. I'm not worried about the past. So we just want to try to live to see what you could do for the future, or whatever, something like that. Yeah, he's just basically just don't worry about the past. You need to focus on the future.
And Bruce is
That's
like,
what your father would want, basically.
Bruce is like, you're never going to give up on me, are you? And Alfred says never. And then it cuts to Bruce kind of looking through his family stuff, and he's looking at a picture of his parents.
Yep.
And then he pulls out the stethoscope.
Yep.
And he has a mini flashback of him and his dad, where his dad was taking his heartbeat or whatever, because his dad was a doctor. And then you find out that Bruce has a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Little 38 special.
He opens up his suitcase. There's a little gun in there, and then it cuts to downstairs, and it's Rachel. She's there.
Yeah,
I guess
she's driving him to the hearing. But she really wants him not to go, though.
Oh, that's right. She is driving him to the
Yeah.
hearing. Yeah. And they also talk about how Alfred keeps the condensed milk on the top shelf.
Right.
Yeah.
The
But
old,
Bruce
he
can
does.
reach it now.
old habits die hard. And then drive her to the hearing.
Also she mentions that she's talking about like she misses being there, like at the Wayne Manor.
Yeah.
And he says, "Yeah, but this place is nothing without the people who made it what it was."
Damn.
And
That's sad.
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is sad.
Well, it's his fault.
No, it's Dad's fault.
And then she tries to tell him that.
According to Ducard.
And then you find out. This is when you also find out that they're doing this hearing because the guy who killed her parents, I think his name's Mr. Chill.
Joe Chill.
Yeah.
Joe Chill. He shared a prison with Carmine Falcone, which you haven't been introduced to him yet.
Right. But he has enough evidence to squeal on him
Yep.
for a reduced sentence and a parole, I guess.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the court hearing, and this is where you find out about. This is the first time they talk about the bad depression that hits in Gotham City.
Yeah.
Which is also a big running thing in this movie.
Yeah, which is pretty much like right after the Waynes die, basically.
Well, no, it happens before because the Waynes.
Oh yeah, my bad.
You know?
I'm thinking something else that comes up later. My bad.
And then you find out the dude's been in prison for 14 years.
Yeah.
So he's 14 years in prison. Mr. Chill's the man.
And he's like, "Hey, do you have anything to say?" And he's like, I wish I could take back what I did."
Yeah, he genuinely does seem like kind of remorseful.
He does, because I know he's like, "That day goes by, I wish I couldn't take back what I did." I was hit by the depression was hard for everybody, but it still doesn't change the fact that
Yeah, exactly.
it still happened.
Well, I really feel like he was just like a petty fucking burglar,
Yeah.
and he killed him. You
Yeah.
know, like it just happened so fast, probably kind of thing.
Yeah.
Not to excuse what Mr. Chill did, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
also though, if he doesn't murder them, we don't get Batman. But if he murders Bruce,
It's a good job, Joe Chill. You did good.
if he murders Bruce, Thomas Wayne becomes Batman.
It's true.
Just saying,
Yeah.
which is a pretty cool
Pretty cool story.
little
So
story.
then Martha becomes the Joker.
Martha
Yeah.
becomes the Joker.
Exactly.
Yep. I have a Funko Pop of her as the Joker.
Really?
That's pretty cool.
And a Funko Pop is Thomas Wayne as Batman.
He's one of my favorite Batmans. He's fucking just got guns.
He's got guns. He don't give a fuck.
I like the cool
Yeah.
shit on the sides.
'Cause he's like a cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's fucking
Hell yeah.
Which would-
Sick.
We're not gonna get into that.
Yeah.
But it's cool. Yeah. And then they ask Bruce if he has anything to say because they mentioned.
I
that
love the
Bruce is
shot
there.
too because it's like framed where he's kind of in the background, but it's still focusing on Joe Chill.
I also fucking mentioned that
Yeah.
shot because he stands up and it, like you said, it's still focused on
Like
Joe
he's gonna
Chill,
say something.
but you see him stand up in the background
Yeah.
and then he just leaves.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good shit,
And I was
man.
like, damn, because that's one thing I'm surprised I didn't mention it at the beginning, but like this is basically the first Nolan movie I ever watched, and like
Oh, yeah,
I
for
still
sure.
think Nolan's like one of the best directors in Hollywood, and like there's some of these shots are pretty even just for like. Even if someone wanted to like discount it as just a Batman movie, like some of these shots are really fucking
yeah.
well shot, and that was definitely one of the ones I liked a lot.
And then
He leaves and he's also planning to kill Mr. Chill.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you see him hide the gun.
he's out there in the hallway and he hits him with that Assassin's Creed 2 gun sleeve. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He like cocks it, shoves it up his sleeve.
He's got it in the. I put Assassin's Creed 2 gun sleeve gang. So
Sweat.
Joe Chill leaves the courtroom and he starts walking and he's surrounded by all the people.
Yeah.
And somebody beats him to the punch.
And a lady runs up to him and says, Falcone says hi, and kills him.
But then she drops dead too. So like, what happened? I don't know what happened.
Poison capsule. I always chalk it up to a poison capsule.
Fair
She's an
enough.
assassin.
Yeah.
That's all that makes sense to me.
Because like she instantly drops the second the gun goes off. I'm like, was it a two-way gun? What the fuck is going on?
Dude, a two-way gun?
You pull one trigger with that, one finger with a gun with the thumb.
Call that a murder-suicide.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. That should be the name of our band.
But I like
Okay.
that. Right before that though, I like how, or right after that, Rachel's trying to get him to leave. He's like, "Come on, you don't need to see this." He's like, "I do."
Yeah, he's like, I need to see this.
And
Yeah.
my next one is literally just, "I need to watch the life drain from his eyes."
And then also
I was
they-
like, "Jesus Christ!" Yeah,
They mentioned that Judge Faden must have been paid off to get
because he
Chill out in the open.
because he thought it was so weird that he instantly was able to like to make she was surprised that the hearing was able to be public
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he was paid off to make it public.
And then Justice and Revenge are never the same. This is whenever they're in the car talking.
Yeah.
Because she's...
My whole note for the car scene, because at some point she slaps him, and I put, don't really know what was said that led up to that. I was messaging my boys and roasting my wife in the group chat.
that was fun. That was the same day. Yeah, basically she was just saying like your father would be proud of, or he's talking about how like justice and revenge are the same.
He
thing.
says,
She's like,
well,
"No,
he
it's
says he
not."
wanted justice, and she was like, no, you just wanted revenge. Justice and revenge are never the same thing. And she's talking about how justice is harmony, but revenge just makes you feel better.
Right, which is
you know.
pretty good.
And then he's like, well, your system is broken, And then she talks to him about how, like, the depression, and she's like, the depression still exists. They talk about it like it doesn't.
Right.
Because she cuts down into, I guess, what ends up being the Narrows.
Yeah.
And she's showing him, like, all these fucking homeless people and all this bullshit. And she says the city is rotting and things are still terrible. But she specifically mentions that Falcone is the problem.
Yep.
Because he's giving out all the drugs.
Because she like stops right in front of the bar he owns.
And she says, like, you know, he's keeping the bad people rich and the good people are too scared to do anything about it.
Right.
Yep.
The last people that did were his parents.
Yep.
Look where that got him.
Yeah, exactly.
What chance does Gotham have when the good people do nothing? And then Bruce is like, well, I'm not a good person.
I'm not one of your good people.
And he shows Rachel the gun, and that's
Yeah.
whenever she smacks the fuck out of him.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Twice, and then says your father would be ashamed of you.
Yep.
God dang.
And then it shows him, like, at the river, and he has a flashback to whenever he was a kid. I don't exactly remember what the flashback was, but he throws the gun into the river after that.
Yeah, I think it was something about his dad, because like his dad would be ashamed of him. 'Cause, like,
Yeah.
I think that's when he kind of, if you want to say like when, I think like that's when he's like kind of starts to develop his no kill rule.
agree.
Even though he's not
Yeah.
having it, he's like, I'm not gonna be worse. I'm not gonna be like the criminals.
I'm not going to be like these people.
Right.
I'll just literally cripple someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the freaking bat.
It'll break your spine.
And then he goes to the diner where Falcone is.
Yep.
And they like his guys like grab him and like search him up, and he
Yep.
doesn't have a gun. And so he sits down with Falcone, and Falcone's like, "Oh, you must come here to thank me for killing Mr. Chill."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, he didn't come here to thank him. He just came here to show that he's not afraid of him."
Yep. He's like, oh no, you're just afraid because you think you got nothing to lose.
Yep. And Falcone pulls a gun on him.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
front of all these
he
people.
does.
He talks about how there's like all these off-duty cops there. There's a judge there, and he could blow his brains out right there, and nothing would happen.
Nothing would happen to him. Yeah.
And then he's like, "You think you don't have anything to lose?" But he talks about how he'd kill Rachel and
Yeah.
he'd kill Alfred.
Yep.
He thinks, and he talks about how Bruce thinks he knows the ugly side of life because his parents are
His
dead,
parents died. Yeah.
but he lives a very cushy life.
Yep. He's like, you ain't never had to. You ain't never felt desperate, which I like that line too.
And
And
then
like, this is the world you'll never understand.
there's a world you'll always fear this world, but you'll never understand it.
Exactly.
That's basically what he says.
And Bruce took that personal. He said, oh, "Watch me."
And then
Watch me.
Bruce gets beat up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they throw him outside.
And, but Falcone says, "You have more spirit than your old man, I'll give you that." And then he talks about how Chill was in that cell with me, and he said, "Your dad begged for mercy like a dog."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he gets thrown into the street, and there's a homeless man just standing there, and he says, "You should have tipped better."
That was pretty funny. Yeah. This homeless guy comes back later too. He's funny, man.
Yeah, I like the homeless guy.
Nicky, they switch jackets.
Yeah, because he goes over there to like because the homeless man's like around like the stereotypical like fucking barrel on
Yeah.
fire, and he throws his
But,
wallet in there, and they swap coats, and
He's like, careful wearing that around here.
because he gives him the money, and he's like, what is this for? And he's like, the coat, and then they
Yeah,
switch
bunch of
coats,
coat.
and then he tells him like, hey, be careful wearing that because they're gonna be looking for me,
Yeah. He's
And
like,
then-
who? Everyone.
and then Bruce goes ghost,
Yeah.
and you find out sorry, go ahead.
Well, because I had that note about it's a world you'll never understand, and then my next note is literally, so he went and found the world. He found out.
Yep. So you find out he goes to all these countries and he starts doing like crime and
Yep.
petty crime and lives amongst criminals.
Because it's cool, like he's doing this heist. He's like, I felt the thrill of the heist. I felt the thrill of the success.
Yeah.
He's like, the first time I stole was because to not starve, basically.
Yeah, and he talks
Yeah.
about how like he figured out that like right and wrong aren't.
The lines between right and wrong are very blurry.
Yeah, it's not so simple because like it literally shows him like steal food,
Yep.
and while he's eating the food, he gives some to like
This
a
little-
starving kid.
Yeah.
You know, like
It's like basically like I stole it, but I'm willing to share it with other people who are also starving. Showing him figure out the world a little bit.
and then he says that even though like he was doing all this stuff, he never fully became one of them.
right.
And then like he's getting arrested, I guess like in China or something.
Yeah, because he was doing that heist, and but they get caught.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was pretty cool how it's like they're like stealing stuff. He's like, no, he's like, I'm not a thief. He's like, I'll tell it to the guy who these belongs to. And it's Wayne
It's
Enterprises.
Wayne
boxes.
Enterprises. He's literally,
He's really not- he's not
stealing
really
his
a
own
thief.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
He's not a thief. He's just misplacing some of his stuff.
and then
Exactly.
he says that he conquered his fear through understanding the criminal mind. And then Bruce really fears his own power and anger and his drive to do terrible and great things. That's because it cuts back to him and Ducard talking
Yep,
at the
yeah.
fire, and Ducard's the one that says that.
Yeah, and then I put my next note after that is fear training.
Yeah, I put now he needs to journey within and do some drugs.
He must become. in order to face your fears, you must become fear.
Yeah, bask in the fear of other men.
Yeah.
Because he does them drug things, which comes back later too. But right now we'll just. It's kind of like he inhales something weird,
Yeah, because Ducard's like breathing in.
and then all the ninjas show up.
I also put become one with the darkness or the Force.
Ooh, what up, Qui-Gon? And then he's telling him like all these ninjas show up, and Ducard kind of hides amongst them, and he tells him that he needs to conquer your. Oh no. He has to become a terrible thought. He has to become a wraith. And then I put fucking swords are cool. And then he screams, "You have to become an idea." And he like comes out and kind of like pops him a little bit, and then hides back in with the people, like hides back in with the other ninjas. And he's telling him that he needs to embrace his worst fear. And he opens up, like, there's like this box at like the end of where the ninjas are.
Yeah.
And he opens it up, and there's bats. And then he must become one with the darkness. To him, it's the bats. He has to master his senses. Oh, okay, cool. So while he's doing this, he's walking through, and like Ducard's like popping out at him, whatever. And then one time Ducard pops out and cuts his arm.
Yep.
And to master his senses, what he does is he takes his sword, because Batman also has a sword.
Yeah.
And he cuts the arms of like a couple of the guys that
Yeah.
are just standing there stoically. And then he
Stoic ninjas.
It's ridiculous to me that these ninjas don't even react to this to getting cut
Yeah,
by his
he's like,
sword. And then he like hides, and Ducard pops back out, and he thinks that he found Bruce hiding amongst them. So he like goes and pulls his mask off, but then Bruce was behind him the whole time because he used the cuts on the arms as like a distraction, essentially. Which I thought
Because
was
he said something, he's like, "Oh, you left yourself vulnerable. I told you," and he's like, "No, I didn't."
yeah, and then he had his ass,
Yeah.
and yeah, he catches Ducard.
He's like, "Good, you're now ready to become one of us. But first, you got to kill this guy."
Yep. Fear has purged. Time to lead these men and become a member of the League of Shadows. And then they bring out the fucking dude from earlier, the farmer murderer guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Bruce is like, "I'm no executioner."
I won't be your executioner.
And then they talk about how like his compassion is a weakness.
Your compassion is a weakness your enemies will not share.
Yep.
I like that.
Can't lead unless he kills. And then they talk about how they're going to Gotham.
Yeah.
Which is very convenient.
Yeah.
Is it not?
Because he's like, "Oh, we did
Yeah.
it with Rome. We did it with Constantinople."
Yep. We're gonna. The city has become a breeding ground for suffering
It needs to be
and
purged.
injustice, and needs to be brought down like Rome or Constantinople.
Used to be Gotham's reckoning.
Gotham must. Gotham must be destroyed, but Bruce won't kill. And then they're like, "Well, there's no turning back now." So basically, they're either gonna like Bruce is gonna kill this dude, or they're gonna kill Bruce.
Yep.
And then he
And-
takes the sword and like he's like pretending like he's getting ready to chop the guy, but then he fucking like he gets the little
The little fight. So like
brand. That's what
the
it is.
Ra's al
It's like,
Ghul
they're gonna brand him, I guess.
Ra's al Ghul has a brand,
Yeah.
and he knocks it out, and it goes up to like the gunpowder. Because we didn't talk about it, but there's like a part where he's showing him like
Ninjutsu
the
tools.
stealth stuff,
Yeah.
like what Batman uses for his smoke bombs,
Which
I
is
guess.
cool because he's like we use it as weapons. He's like, or distractions. Which is kind of what he does.
or distractions.
So I said that like Bane. I'm sorry.
Bane voice. Awesome. But he knocks the brand into the gunpowder, and then there's like a fucking
Big ass
a
explosion.
fire starts,
Yeah.
and there's a sword fight.
And then he starts fighting Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. And then there's a fucking explosion, and Ross like gets killed by like a piece of the ceiling that fucking crushes him. And
Ra's al Ghul is dead.
I put-
Question mark?
I put
maybe
Miss Ra's al Ghul rip.
Miss Ra. And then he grabs Ducard and escapes.
Rookie, and I put in my notes, rookie mistake.
Yeah.
And they just barely make it out because as soon as they're like running out the window, it blows up.
Oh, this is one of my favorite.
This
fucking
part is cool as
scenes, dude.
fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's
it
like
really is
Ducard's
cool.
sliding kind of past him. He's
Yeah.
sliding to go get him. And like he grabs him at the last second, then uses his fucking arm blades to like fucking dig it in the snow.
Dig into the
Yeah.
snow.
It looks
Yeah.
so painful too. Though, but like look
I
painful
put-
as shit.
Fuck me, he is strong.
Because he like pulls him back up.
pulls him
and then
right
he's
back
like,
up. And then he takes him to the village that he passed through.
Right, and leaves him and says, and the guy's like, "I will let him know you saved his life."
Yep. And then it cuts to him getting on a jet, and what up, my boy Alfred's there. And then they're in the plane,
Heading back to Gotham.
Yep.
and he says that he's going to show the people of Gotham their city doesn't belong to the corrupt. And Alfred's like, "Well, your dad tried to."
He's like, "You're coming back for how long?" He's like, "As long as it takes."
And he can't do it as Bruce Wayne, but can become a symbol, something elemental or terrifying.
You can't kill a man, but you can kill a symbol. Or you can't kill a symbol, but you can.
There
kill
we go.
a man.
There you go.
It's literally in the notes, and I wasn't looking at the notes, and I read it backwards.
Hey, man.
Maybe if I would look at the notes, it
And
would
then-
have helped.
you also figure out that Bruce has been declared dead,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he
And,
left everything to Alfred.
and he left everything to
And
Alfred.
Alfred's like, I'll let you ball to roll. Just bring it back with a full tank. Because like they always have a really good like playful relationship. I always
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
Even in like Dark Knight and shit.
yeah, I mean, he's definitely kind of a dick to Alfred whenever he comes back as like a early 20s
Yeah.
in the scene where he comes back from Princeton.
Agreed.
Yeah, yeah, he was kind of an asshole.
But there's,
And then he's kind of an asshole like halfway through Dark Knight.
I've noticed there are a few times in different Batman media though, and I think I like it more this way, where Batman is kind of a dick to Alfred, like whenever they portray young Batman. Because he's still
Like in the Batman.
in the Batman, exactly. Well, even in I know y'all haven't watched it yet, but there's that The Caped Crusader
On Amazon?
and Amazon, and it's like a young Bruce Wayne
Hell yeah.
as Batman.
That's one of my favorite stories. Year one is one of my favorite stories.
And he's like kind of a dick to Alfred,
Yeah.
which I think kind of makes sense because I think he's still getting over the whole like, oh, you're just my fucking butler thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Plus, like, there's also like the argument for like it's like a parental thing because you know you're
Yeah.
kind of a dickhead to your parents.
Because I think he has that a couple times throughout the trilogy of Nolan movies of like,
You know, because Alfred's basically his dad.
yeah, pretty
You
much.
know,
Yeah,
He's not his dad, but he raised him basically. Like, after his parents died, like
That's all he had.
that's who he had.
Alfred,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then it cuts to a courtroom.
With
Yeah.
Victor Zsasz.
Victor Zsasz. I just wrote, oh fuck Zsasz. Which has
Yeah.
really nothing to do with this movie, but he's there.
Yep.
And then he's being defended by Dr. Crane.
Yeah.
Dr.
essentially.
Jonathan Crane.
And I just
Oppenheimer.
Dr. Oppenheimer.
Oh fuck, it's that Irish dude. Right? Isn't he Irish?
I think so.
I don't
It's
know.
the Peaky Blinders guy.
Yeah.
That everyone loves to.
Is it Killian or Cillian?
Cillian.
Killian?
It's spelled Cillian, but I thought everyone says Killian Murphy.
Okay.
It might be Killian. It's spelled Cillian.
I've heard, yeah, but I've never heard anyone say Cillian.
Okay.
But it could be. I don't know. I don't know this man personally.
Oh, yeah. That's
But
fair. I don't either.
Every time I hear someone talk about it, they say Killian, though. I could be wrong.
But also during this scene, you find out that Rachel is like a junior DA or something. Like she's working in the DA's office.
I think
Because she's not the DA.
No,
she's like an assistant DA
assistant,
or something.
yeah.
Assistant to the assistant.
Assistant to the assistant.
And like,
She mentions how like he can't keep defending all these bad people and letting them plead insanity.
Yep.
And they keep getting put into Arkham, which is like apparently like his asylum.
because they're basically Falcone's goons.
Yeah. And then she find out that Rachel stands for justice. And then she's walking out. Like they're walking together, and then he kind of leaves Dr. Crane. And some guy named Finch shows up. I think it's like her boss
Yeah.
at the DA's office.
Yep.
And he's like kind of sweet on her, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
They talk a little bit, and he says he's like worried about her like getting in all this business with Falcone or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to, and like while they're talking, I think Bruce is like standing there like watching Rachel.
Yeah, because I like this because it's kind of a nod to year one because like that was like Batman would or not Bat like Batman would do that a lot where he would like dress up as a hobo to kind of keep watch over the city
Yeah.
in year one.
Well, it makes sense
Which is
why he
cool.
would do that.
Yeah.
You know.
Also, I kind of want to point out, which we may have said it earlier, I don't know. She does not come back for the actress doesn't come back for the
Yeah,
for any.
Katie
Yeah.
Holmes.
Yeah. She's replaced by Maggie Gyllenhaal.
I thought this.
Probably had something to do with the Scientology. Don't come for me.
And then it cuts to Bruce at the Wayne Manor, and he's like doing some detective work. Like he's got like a picture of Gordon. But while he's doing the detective work, he hears a chirp, and it's a bat in the house. Like it's like making noises.
Yeah,
next
yeah.
in the ground somewhere, Max
Yeah.
Wayne.
There's a bat's nest somewhere in the grounds.
And then like I don't understand how he doesn't know where the fuck it's at. He's like I don't know where they just nest somewhere in the ground. They're like you saw Bruce fucking fall down that little hole. You
That's
should know where
true.
they're at, stupid.
That's true.
Call an exterminator. Get that
Because
shit
Bruce
out of there.
immediately goes down into the well,
Yeah.
and it's some kind of cave with bats.
Crazy.
Maybe it's a bat cave. I don't know.
We got some bats in the cave.
My note was that'd be a perfect place for I don't know, maybe a bat cave.
Wink, wink.
Oh, actually, I wrote it's some kind of cave with bats. Perhaps, maybe, I don't know, a fucking bat cave. And then when he gets out, I noticed that it was cold down there because he's breathing and I can see his breath.
Yeah.
It's cold down there. And there's a fuckload of bats.
It's got that really cool, like, iconic scene of him like raising the light up and like the bats are swirling around.
They
and
all
he's
swirl
like,
around, and
yeah.
he's conquering
fucking cool
his,
as shit.
He's
yeah.
conquered his
'Cause he
fears.
like closes his eyes. He's like, I am one with the bats.
I wrote that. He is one with them. And then it cuts to Crane going and meeting up with Falcone.
Yeah.
And he says no more favors to Falcone until he brings some of that shipment in. Because,
Yeah.
like, the drugs
The
that are
drugs
coming in.
the drugs that he needs.
And then Falcone, they mention, like,
Need
who...
the stuff, man.
They mention who, like, Crane is working for.
Yeah, they say he is coming.
And they say he's coming, like Nosferatu.
Oh,
I wonder who he could be.
Ooh, I don't know. Who is he?
Nosferatu.
Honestly, It had been so long since I had watched this movie. I was kind of thinking at first he was talking about Scarecrow.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Falcone didn't know
Right.
that Crane was Scarecrow.
Right.
But, well, I just ruined that.
Wait. Crane is Scarecrow?
He wears a mask. I don't know. And then he starts talking about Rachel and
Yeah.
how, like, she can't...
She's like, this is the one prosecutor you can't buy off because,
Yeah.
like, she's pretty gung-ho about taking you down.
And then you find
She
out
can't be bought.
that
basically.
Falcone might try and kill her.
Yeah.
And then it
he's,
goes-
he's like, shit happens in this town all the time. You coming home, next thing you know, you're getting mugged.
Yep, you get mugged, you
go
know
to-
something happens.
You go into a play, you lose your parents.
You go home. You go to a show, your parents die, you go home.
Butler raises you. And then
You become a Batman. I don't know.
You can have a weird thing with bats. Who knows?
Who knows? God damn it, that was funny. And then they go to Wayne Towers.
Yeah.
And it shows that Earl guy. And they're having like a board meeting or whatever.
Yeah.
And he talks about how it's been. They're talking about how they're selling like guns now and shit and like military stuff.
Well, no, they did military contracts, but then they something like that because that's why they have all that shit.
I thought they had all that shit for Batman because it was so expensive that the military wouldn't buy it. But maybe that's why they
That's
don't have the
basically what it was.
contracts
But
anymore.
that's what they were doing military contracts and shit. But then they had to take the company public to secure the company's future. Is what
Right.
he said. He says our company's future as if he's like the owner. Or as if he's, I don't know, a Wayne, but he's not.
Nah.
He's just some dude.
You're just business.
Your name's Earl, bro. Fuck you.
You're just
funeral.
business funeral guy.
Yeah.
You're just some common bitch.
But cause I like how that comes back later at the end. But anyway,
I mean, they thought Bruce was dead, and he said, sorry to disappoint.
They
Yeah.
also mentioned that it's been 20 years since Thomas Wayne has died. I just
Agreed,
wanted to
yeah.
get that in there. But yeah, Bruce shows up, plot twist, not dead.
Not dead. he's trying to fuck the secretary maybe.
Oh,
Because
he definitely
he's like teaching her how to putt.
Yeah, because they're calling for the secretary.
Yeah, he's like, why are you not answering the fucking phone? And then she's like, oh, I'm just getting busy with Bruce.
Spooned.
By
Been
Bruce.
learning golf and shit.
I'm trying to get his golf club, know what I mean?
Shit, son. Christian Bale, though, you know what I mean?
Right.
But you find out that Bruce is just like, hey man, I'm not here to like take over or nothing. I just want a job.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, where do you want a job at? And he says he wants a job in applied sciences. And then this is also whenever Earl tells Wayne that the company is going public.
Right, to secure our company's future.
And then I said, and then you cut, and they go downstairs to applied sciences, and he goes and talks to Lucius fucking
Talks
Fox.
to God.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman did play God in the movie.
Couple-
Two movies.
couple
yeah.
movies, actually.
Yeah, 2 movies. We should watch those.
Yeah.
No.
Especially the first. Bruce
Oh,
Almighty's
yeah,
great.
Bruce Almighty's awesome.
And then you find out that, and then Lucius is talking about how applied sciences is apparently a dead end.
Yep.
And then you find out that Fox knew Thomas, like they were
Yeah,
boys.
they were good friends. He used to be on the board when his dad ran things.
And this one, they start kind of looking through all the stuff. First, he opens up a like a briefcase kind of thing, and it's
Yeah.
got the what becomes the utility belt.
Yeah,
and the,
it's like a he says like utility grapple harness.
and it's like a grappling hook too is in it.
Standard grapple gun can hold like 350 pounds.
Yeah,
Cool
and
as
then,
shit. And then he shows him like the Kevlar suit.
Well, they talk about the train a little bit too, because I think Lucius helped
Yeah,
build
because
the train.
I have a note because it comes back later where Wayne Tower is in the center of the city, the unofficial center of Gotham, which
Right.
comes up later.
And then he shows him the suit,
Yeah.
and it says that it's like this. They built it for the military, and it was like full Kevlar and all
Yeah,
this.
but it was too expensive because they didn't think a soldier's life was worth $350,000.
Yeah, like worth 300
And I was
grand. Bruce wants to borrow the fucking suit for spelunking.
Yeah. I was about to say.
What is spelunking?
Cave diving.
Oh, well, he's not lying.
You know where the first time I ever heard the word flunking, you're gonna think this is so fucking random.
Is it like talking about somebody like fucking somebody in the ass?
No.
Oh, okay. That's. I mean, tell me.
Look, your cave, boys.
Tell me that's not
No.
spelunking.
For some reason, it was American Dragon Jay Claw.
Oh, okay.
Because his dumb stoner friend
Oh, way off.
says it in the random episode. I didn't know what the fuck it was.
I was way off.
Yeah, bro. Like I said, I knew you was gonna be, I told you it was gonna be fucking
I
random.
paused the movie to look it up.
See, I didn't care. I just kept going. I was
He's like, it's a funny word, spelunking. And I'm
like-
like, what the fuck is that?
spelunking. Cool. Write that down. The guys will know what it is. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Well,
Because he literally says splunking, cave diving. So like, I didn't have to look it up. He says it right after
Oh, does
splunking.
he?
He literally
Oh.
says, splunking, cave diving.
oh.
No.
He literally says it.
I went straight. I mean, he does, but I went straight to Google.
That's fair. I get it. Hey, Google is useful sometimes.
And then I was like, well, if I'd have just kept playing it, I wouldn't have had to go to Google at all.
And then Fox says that he doesn't care if he borrows it because as far as he's concerned, all
It's
that's
his
is
anyway.
Bruce's anyway.
And he's basically like, we're on a need to know basis. Like, if you don't tell me what you need it for, I can't lie about it.
then it
Which I thought was
shows-
pretty fire. Like, you a real one.
It shows Bruce and Alfred in the cave now, and Bruce is like hanging up some lights down there
Yeah, with the new gear.
with the new gear.
Kind of like
And,
forming it into like Batcave.
Yeah.
a cave that might be for bats and
Yeah.
Batman. Who's Batman? I don't know. What is a Batman? And then they start talking about how like they're down there, and Alfred looks up, and there's like a foundation up there, and he's like, "Oh, that must be the lowest foundation of the southeast wing."
Yeah.
And they talk about how apparently Bruce Wayne's great grandfather was involved in the Underground Railroad.
I also wrote that down.
Right.
And that's why
Making sure like you knew that like he comes from a long line of good people, you know.
And then this one they talk about the elevator too, right?
Yeah, because he like, looks at it. I don't think it's functional yet, but like it's supposed to allude to like, oh, maybe we should do something with that.
Yeah, there's like a way to get down here
Yeah, because then later on they figure out how to do it.
instead of going through the bullshit fucking well. And then
Because he's like, Alfred, come up here for me. He's like, no, I don't want to get wet. I'm good.
yeah, because there's like the waterfall. down
Yeah,
there
it was
too.
just fucking cool, dude. Especially like later with the tumbler.
And then it shows them start making the suit.
Yeah,
Where they're like looking at parts of the suit, like
right. What they need,
how they're gonna buy like the cowl from this place, and then they're gonna buy the
bottom piece
the bottom piece and
from somewhere else, and it's gonna like they need 10,000 to make it not look suspicious.
and they say they're gonna use like little non-profit companies as like the front to buy these things.
Right.
And like that's a good idea, I think. And also those little non-profits come back later.
Yeah. True.
So, feel the need to mention that. But they have to buy 10,000 of them, like you said, to avoid suspicion. And then it shows Gordon being a cop, and he's got a partner named Flass. And you find out that he's a dirty cop.
Yeah, like most of the city, like
And-
most of the city's police force.
And if you find out that Gordon isn't a rat, because there's nobody that he can rat to anyway, because
Yeah,
the city
they're all
is so
crooked.
corrupt.
Just basically setting up that Gordon's the only good cop in town.
Pretty much the only good cop. I mean, I'm sure there are others, but like he is
Yeah.
the
And
good cop.
That mixed with him being so nice to Bruce when he was young makes Bruce be like, I know I can trust him.
And then it kind of shows Bruce in like the proto bat suit.
Yeah, gearing up montage.
He has like his gadgets and shit, but he doesn't have the cowl and the cape.
Right,
and
he's just in a
everything
ski mask.
Yeah, it's very like Spider-Man-esque.
Yeah,
That's immediately what I thought of.
which
too.
is also like another nod to year one, like before he actually like makes the suit and shit.
Yeah.
And
And then
he breaks into Gordon's office.
he confronts Gordon like he has the what is it?
A stapler?
Is it the stapler?
It's a stapler.
Oh,
he
he
like
has
puts a stapler to the back of his head, pretending it's a gun.
Yeah, I thought he had the fucking the fucking
Grapple gun?
The grapple gun.
I still feel like that would kill somebody if you accidentally pull the trigger. So maybe he didn't want to do
It'd probably
that.
go straight to his fucking head.
Yeah.
That would have been a completely different movie.
Oh God, Gordon, I'm so sorry. Well, yeah, no, it's just a stapler, which I thought was really cool. Because I even have my note. He's using a stapler to squeeze Gordon for information.
Since Batman believes in justice so much, if he accidentally kills someone, does he turn himself in?
I guess we'll never know
I guess
because
we'll
he's
never know.
so good at what he does.
But he'll definitely break a fucking spine though.
Yeah, he will.
He'll put you in a wheelchair, but he won't kill you.
Yeah.
And then, so he confronts Gordon about the drugs and like what he has to do to like get Falcone, to bring Falcone down. And he tells him that he needs leverage on Judge Faden and a DA brave enough to prosecute.
Yeah, which we already know one.
And then he tries to parkour away and kind of eats shit on that staircase.
Oh, I also wanted to mention that because this is a fire fucking line. Because while he's leaving, Gordon is like,
Oh yeah.
"You're just one man. There's no way you can bring him down." And he goes,
Now there's two of us.
No. He says, "Now we're two." And I was, and he's like, "Wait, what do you mean?" And then he's gone.
Yeah.
And then he tries to parkour across
Which
the
is
roof.
which is the first classic disappear while he's not looking.
And he's running across the roof and he jumps to the other fire escape and he like
Eat shit.
eats shit.
Just like Dylan said. And that's when he's like, I need something to break my fall. Let me go talk to Lucius.
Yep. And then he says he's gonna start base jumping.
Yeah. What is it today, Mr. Wayne?
More
Base
spelunking?
Base jumping.
And then he shows him the memory cloth and how like
You run a current through it, and it takes any shape.
and he's like, "Can I cut it?" Because he tells him he needs like lightweight fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he shows him that, and he doesn't tell Lucius like what he's really doing.
Right.
But Lucius says that he's not dumb and he knows he's getting up to something. Well, he doesn't say that, but that's basically Lucius ends up mentioning that he's not stupid.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Basically, like, yeah. And then, like, later, it's not till later that he actually, like, confirms, I think.
Yeah.
But, like, this is definitely where he's like, look, man, I'm like, whatever you're doing, I know it's not what you're telling me to do. But like I said, he says, like, as long as you're just gonna, as long as you don't tell me, I won't have to lie.
Yeah.
So.
And then this is whenever they also see the fucking tumbler, and then it cuts to them driving the tumbler.
Yeah.
And Lucius is like fucking fucking scared, and Bruce
Yeah.
is just going nuts in that thing.
Yeah, and he's like, "What's this right here?" He's like, "Oh, it's an afterburner for a boostless jump." And like he presses it, and Lucius is like,
Because you
"Ah."
find out that the tumbler was originally made to like build bridges
Yeah,
or something, but like they could never really get it to work, so they just kind of stopped messing with it, basically.
but like it could like you were able to jump it kind of because of the booster.
Yeah, but he said that it was like fully functional other than like that one thing.
Yeah.
So, and then he like fucking spins it out and parks, and he asks if it comes in black, which is one of the few scenes I remembered from when I was a kid.
Yeah, 'cause it's fucking cool.
And then it shows Flass and Falcone, and I believe this is whenever is this when they're getting the drugs?
No,
No,
We
because
have a
Flass
couple
comes
more
and
scenes.
talks to him. Oh, this is whenever they're talking about killing Rachel too. They talk about her again because I wrote people get mugged every day. Sometimes things go wrong.
Oh, so maybe we have that mixed up. But still,
Yeah.
that's I guess that's the scene with them because I think that's when Flash is talking about how she's being troublesome.
Yeah.
I guess when she's talking to Falcone, it's something different. But
And then they talk about they never underestimate Gotham City.
yeah,
They say that too, which is solid because Gotham's incredibly corrupt.
agreed.
Like I'm sure normal cities are also very corrupt, but I think this might be a little bit more than normal.
It has to be if a secret organization of ninjas has to take
Take it
precedent.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, because they did something fucked up.
And then it pops over to Alfred and Bruce again, and they have like the first cowl made. And he
Yeah.
like smashes it with a fucking hammer.
And he's like, "Oh, well, that didn't work." he's like, "We'll have to order 10,000 more."
Yeah.
Like,
And Alfred's like, well, you should definitely avoid landing on your head.
yeah, for sure.
And it's like a montage of them making the suit.
Like it shows him like with the utility belt. It shows him making the batarang.
He like cuts the straps on the thing, and it's just a belt now.
Yeah.
And Alfred's like, why the bat? And he's like, I fear bats. And now it's time my enemies share the same dread.
Yeah, dude.
I literally put my notes. It's time my enemy shared my dread. Cold fucking line.
That's
It's so
dude.
fucking cool.
And then it cuts to all the shipping containments in the shipyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you guys again.
And then one guy sees something.
I was like, what the fuck was that?
What the fuck is that? Oh, buddy.
Well, you also find out this is like the teddy bears and the rabbits.
Yeah, teddy bears go to somewhere else, and the rabbits go somewhere else. But he doesn't want to tell you where they go.
Yeah, because Falcone doesn't tell him.
Because I think he doesn't know where they're going.
Rabbits go to the men in the Narrows, and bears go to the dealers.
Yeah, because the dealers are the ones that, and then the Narrows is the stuff that Crane's doing for quote unquote him.
The one who's coming.
Nosferatu.
So Man Bass.
Whoa. They never did a Man Bat movie.
It would be cool.
That
It
was
would be
fucking
sick.
awesome. And then the dude hears something and he goes off and then he just kind of gets fucking
I think
yoinked.
that if he would have took Flash, because Flash tells Falcone something's going on out here, you should probably bail. And he doesn't take his advice. Like, bro, your informant cop just told you to leave,
Yep.
and you didn't, and that's
didn't.
probably why he loses.
And that's your fault.
Yeah, you're kind of an idiot. Because he gets out of the car and is like, oh, well, I guess I'm gonna go see what's up. And I'm like, bro, he just told you to leave.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yep,
your fault.
because the guy that disappears and then they realize that their friend's gone.
Yep.
So they start going. I mean, they're not their friend, but their co-thug, I guess. You know.
Coworker.
Yeah. And then
Business associate.
they go to investigate, and this is a really cool scene because it's like there's like all these lights hanging down,
Yeah.
and
He takes them all out with one batarang.
one batarang takes
Yeah.
them all out, and they find the batarang, and then they look up. And Batman's like hanging upside down from a
Yeah.
crane, and I would put, oh man, he's a fucking ghost.
Yeah, because
he's-
like the wings spread open too. It's fucking cool, dude.
awesome. I have a couple like meltdowns towards the end of the movie just talking about how fucking awesome Batman is. We're
Yeah.
getting there.
Because one of them says, where are you? And he goes, here.
Punches his fucking lights
Yeah, I
out.
wrote that down too. Because he's like fighting all these. He's like at first he's just kind of taking them out one by one.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to after he says here. It shows Falcone like walking up to check out what's going
Yeah,
on.
he like
and
sees Batman fight like 5 dudes. And this is where I kind of have a first little thing where I'm like, the action of him fighting is very jump cutty. And
It
I
is.
don't think I like that much.
I agree.
Yeah.
I have another note later during a different fight that might be a hot take, but I'll save it till later. But it's definitely like there's just a lot of jump cuts in the fight, and I don't like it that much. Like,
I think it's a sign of the times.
yeah, because this is also before the Arkham games. Because I think after the Arkham games come out, people were like, we want to see him actually, combat. them,
Yeah,
I guess.
for sure.
I think that definitely had an impact on it anyway.
I definitely agree with you.
Yeah.
Because
Because Nolan does better action, I think, later on in other movies that I think is better than this one. So maybe he had to learn, I guess, too. I don't know. But,
yeah. Well, I mean, didn't you say it's probably one of his first movies, right? It
Yeah.
had to be.
I think there's like 1 or 2 before this one, but like,
We all learn somewhere.
yeah.
But then Falcone
Being boys.
sees it and runs away,
Yeah.
and
That's what he gets in the car.
and his
Yeah.
driver's taken out.
Yeah. He's like, oh man, what are you?
No, he said, what the hell are you? Gets yoinked through the sunroof and says, I'm Batman.
Oh my god, yeah, he said he was fucking Batman.
Oh, my penis! cancer fool. It's Batman. Oh God.
And then he looks up and the homeless dude's there and he says, "Nice coat."
He's like, thanks.
Well, he also headbutts Falcone, and I put unintentionally funny moment. This is the whole thing where he's like, "I'm Batman."
Nobody wins with the headbutt. And then Rachel is on the subway, which is not the subway, it's the train.
I just want to mention too, it's the same homeless person, so it's kind of funny. Like he's like, nice coke, because the hobo's like, yeah, thanks, man. I got it from Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, that's true.
I know. It's kind of funny.
And then there's like one dude on the train with her, and she gets off the train, and that dude quickly follows her. And then you find out that there's another dude, because she's like about to go down some steps, and a big dude comes up the steps, and while the other dude like follows her down another pair of steps, and she's just like cornered. And
Hey man, it's Gotham. Sometimes things happen.
it looks like something's about to happen. And then she pulls out her taser, like she gonna do something.
Yeah, and then like to the guy on the stairs, and then Batman falls down, takes the other guy out, and the other guy runs away. And she's like, "Yeah, that's right, you better run."
Yeah. And then she turns around, and
She's like, ah!
Batman's just there.
Just hanging out, like he's like perched on the fucking railing. He's like, it's fucking cool.
And he gives her the leverage that she needs for Judge Fate.
To take down Falcone.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Why are you giving this to me or something?" And he's like, "Because you're a person that rattles cages. And I also rattle cages.
You're like me.
I'm Batman." It's fucking awesome. But then he tells her that Falcone sent them to kill her too. It cuts back to where Falcone's men are at the shipyard, and all the cops are there now. And Gordon's like, "Oh man, Falcone's gonna be mad about this." And then the cop's like, "Well,
You gotta see this.
you gotta see this." And then it's fucking Falcone. He's tied to a spotlight, and it's making the fucking bat signal. And I put, "There it fucking is. Hell yes, bro."
Which is also a callback, because when he's in the office with Gordon before he leaves, he says, "Look for my signal."
Look for my signal. Yeah, he
Here
does
it
say
is.
that. And then it shows Batman perched on a building,
They're lurking over the city.
looking fucking cool.
So
as
goddamn
shit.
cool. Because it reminds me so much of that one shot in Dark Knight, but like this is like the original fucking cool.
The
where he's
original
just, like,
shot.
You know, he's over Tokyo in there, but then it's fucking cool, dude.
It's fucking
Looking
awesome.
over Gotham. It's
Yeah,
fucking
dude, looking
cool
over
shit.
Gotham being fucking Batman. Because now he's like actually fucking Batman.
Yeah.
Like, and then it cuts to the next day, and the commissioner of the police station, I did not catch his name.
Loeb.
Commissioner Loeb,
I
thank
just,
you.
I just read that in the comics.
He's talking
didn't know
about the newspaper and how Batman's on the newspaper, and he does not like Batman, and they need to do something about this vigilante.
I don't like this Batman guy.
I don't like this Batman.
If he is a man, we don't know. He's a symbol. He's an idea.
And then it cuts to them talking about Oh, it's Gordon. Gordon says, "Well, Falcone was at the scene, so this might actually lead to him being caught, like,
Right.
getting in trouble for real." And then it cuts to Alfred waking up Bruce.
Yeah.
And he says, Bruce says, "Bats are nocturnal." And Alfred's like, "Well, you
Bruce
can't
Wayne's
be."
not.
Yeah, like
Even for billionaire playboys, 2 p.m. is pushing it.
2 p.m. is pushing it, yeah. And then I put, "Fuck me, Christian Bale is jacked for this movie, but those steroid pimples, because his back is covered in acne." I was like, "All right, buddy, I see you." And then he starts telling him what he should do as a billionaire. He should start dating movie stars and driving around expensive cars and going out and making appearances, which is true. Like, he does need to keep up his...
Yep. Because basically Alfred's like, people are going to start asking fucking questions, you know?
And then he starts doing push-ups. Yeah. He does a lot of push-ups. Then it goes back to Wayne Enterprises.
Yep.
Yeah,
And it's
so-
Earl talking to...
I put business nerd tells business boss that one of their cargo ships got damaged and stolen.
Yeah, and it had a big weapon on it that got stole because the
Yeah.
Coast Guard recovers the ship, but the weapon's gone.
Yep.
And then it says that it looked like the weapon was turned on, and it's like some kind of microwave thing, and it uses the water supply,
To vaporize the enemy's water supply.
and so that's like I wonder if that's gonna come back up.
Right. Because it's kind of
does.
random at first, but then...
It feels incredibly shoehorned in.
Yeah.
But like I guess like as far as the movie goes, like where else would you put it
Yeah.
in the movie?
Yeah.
And they need it for later, so
Yeah.
makes sense. And then it cuts to Bruce Wayne again, taking Alfred's advice, shows up in a sports car, and I put dating a movie star, and then I said, never mind, he got 2 O's on his arm.
Yeah. And then they start playing in the fountain.
Because I put in my notes that Bruce begins to create his playboy philanthropist persona.
But I also thought it was funny because they're talking about the Batman like at dinner, and Bruce is like, "Well, clearly some man that dresses up as a bat has issues." And he's like, "Oh, buddy, do you?" Mommy and daddy issues.
Oh, man. The trifecta.
And then the girls get in the pool,
And then the waiter's like, we're going to have to ask you to leave. And he's like, oh, no, it's okay. I'm buying the restaurant.
No, he buys a hotel.
Hotel, my
the
bad.
hotel.
Because
He says, I'm buying this whole hotel.
because
bitch."
it's going to Alfred's like, oh, what do they do? He's like, oh, I don't know, date movie stars, drive fast cars, and buy things they can't afford. Buy things that aren't for sale.
Yes.
I was like, fucking, he does like all those things in like a matter of minutes
And then he hops in the pool
with them. Yeah, and I love love how his fucking people he was talking to 2 seconds ago was like, oh, just Bruce being Bruce.
Yep. And then also the lady says Batman deserves a medal, and then the other guy that was there at the thing says, well, he deserves a straitjacket. So it's kind of cool, like seeing like the duality of how people feel.
Because like it comes back a lot harder in Dark Knight.
Yes, it does. And then whenever Bruce goes to leave the hotel that he
sees
just now purchased, he runs into Rachel, and I think they're just talking, and I think Bruce is the one that says that she can't change the world on her own. He says it to Rachel, or maybe she says it to him. I'm not sure, but Bruce is like trying to tell her like, hey, I'm not actually this guy.
Yeah, like he's kind of the wrong time to be kind of saying that.
Yeah, whenever
you're leaving with 2 models, and yeah, like it's early on, and like he's trying to have his cake and eat it too, but like you can't do this persona and try and pine after Rachel. It's just not going to work, man.
You cannot do it. But then she tells him that it's not who you are underneath; it's what you do that defines you. And then I wrote in all caps, "He is the Bat." And then it cuts to Dr. Crane. And he's talking about how somebody cut their wrists, and you find out it's Falcone because he's cut his wrist to try to plead for the insanity deal that they've all been getting.
Yeah, because he's talking to some lady because he's getting ready to go talk to Falcone.
Yeah, because you don't know immediately who cut their wrists, even though you can assume. And he's pretending to be crazy, but then he just starts complaining about the food there, and he's like, "If I keep eating this food here, I'm gonna go insane." Yeah. And then he starts trying to blackmail Dr. Crane. He's like, "Hey, if you don't get me out of here and get me this plea, I'm gonna tell them about all the stuff I've been giving you, all the drugs and all this shit." And he talks about how he owns the muscle in town, like Falcone does, or whatever.
This is my city. Because he's like, he's coming again, and he's like, "This is my city."
Yep. I don't care who's coming.
It's out of context. It's just a great fucking scene. He's like, takes his glasses off. He's like, "Do you want to see my mask?" What the fuck? I remember the first time I watched this movie, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And Crane also says that the guy that he's working for will kill him.
Yeah.
And then he puts the mask on. He's like, it's not much, but the inmates, they get real freaked out about it or whatever. And then
I think he even says like he's crazy. He's like, which kind of drops the like Dr. Jonathan Crane persona
for sure,
and becomes more of the Scarecrow.
And then he hits him with fear gas. Yeah. And I remember when I was a kid that shit scared me, like because it is pretty like jarring.
Oh yeah.
Because it's very quick too, like, and then also he's talking like this, and he's fucking scary, oh my god. And then he basically turns Falcone crazy for real to get him into the secure wing.
Because he comes out, he's like, "Oh man, that one's not faking."
Yeah, he's not faking. Oh my god, we got to get him to the secure wing at Arkham, and I'll take care of him there. Oh my god.
And then we cut to Gordon taking out the trash at his house.
Yeah, and Batman's watching him.
Creepily, I might add.
And he takes out the trash, and Batman just goes, "Storm's coming."
Storm's coming to Gotham. Because he's perching on like the fucking Persian again.
He's like perching on the staircase.
It's fucking cool, dude.
It's like, what?
Storm's coming in Gotham.
Storm's coming in Gotham.
And it pans to a dude eating a glizzy, and then Batman just strings him up.
Before that, though, Gordon does tell him, like, Flash will know.
Yeah, Flash moonlights as an informant for
Falcone. And he was there whenever, because they're talking about the splitting the drug is in 2. Where do they go? And he's like, well, Flash will know because he was there that night.
Yep.
He thinks Flash will know.
I never got that character's name. Whenever, like, he's trying to munch on his glizzy, he gets fucking...
It's falafel, actually.
I put cut to Flash getting a glizzy.
Falafel.
And then I put shit.
There's a whole thing about it.
He does. It is a falafel, but at first I put glizzy.
Fair enough.
And then I put shit. He can't be too bad. And then I put JK. He stole that dude's money.
He's like going through. He's like picking out the big bills, and he's like, "Oh," he's like, "Come on, man." He's like, "What? Your kids?" He's like, "I have kids to feed." He's like, "What? They don't like falafel?"
Yep. And then he's like walking, and it's raining. And Batman the Rain plus 10 cool points in my opinion.
Yeah.
But he gets fucking yoinked by Batman.
Yeah.
And then where are the other drugs going?
Where were the other drugs going?
And he says, I don't know. I swear to God.
Swear to me! Swear to me!
Hardest line in this movie, in my opinion. And then he tells him about how there's something hidden in the drugs, and that's what he's using.
Yeah, and then Batman just kind of plays yo-yo with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's like, woo, woo.
Imagine just minding your own fucking business, and the next thing you know, you're being played yo-yo with.
By Batman, bro.
That's what happens when you're a dirty fucking cop.
Yeah, but hey, man, just like an average, just like a random Tuesday night, you just, next thing you know, you're a goddamn yo-yo.
And then Batman knows that he has to go to the Narrows.
Right. Which I put in my notes, if this was the Arkham City universe, that's exactly where they would put Arkham City, is in the fucking Narrows.
Yeah, for sure.
That shit looks run down as fuck.
And then I also took my little note, Batman being Batman in Rain is so fucking cool.
It is fucking cool.
And then it shows him, because he's like spying into like some room, and he like sees the drugs there.
And then there's this kid on the balcony, he's like, "Oh, you're the Batman."
What does he give him?
The little binoculars.
Oh, he gives him the binoculars?
Yeah, he's okay. Because he's like, "Oh, no one believes me in class that you're real." He's like, "Well, I'll show him this."
Yeah. And then he goes inside that room and he starts investigating the little rabbits. Yep. And then as soon as he gets there, of course, Crane shows up with his thugs. His goons.
What's a goon to a goblin?
Well, you're the glizzy gobbler. which is not exactly the same thing. So
Yeah.
I don't know why I brought it up.
Glizzy Goblin?
Ooh.
Glizzy Goblin. I was gonna turn into a Green Goblin, but it's just hot dog. It's just a hot dog.
Give me your Glizzy, Spider-Man!
You throw on fire hot dogs at
If it's so hot,
You have
know?
to take the time to light it on fire.
You and me, kid, we can run the city together.
We can run the Glizzy market together.
You think you could get a deal with like a ballpark?
Dude.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Shit.
Free hot dogs
For life. Or until Spider-Man kills me.
with your glizzy glider.
Don't tell Harry.
They say, "Don't tell Sheik." Fuck.
So anyway,
He gets there with his goons.
and he beats up this one guy because they're gonna burn the place down to get rid of evidence or whatever. And he like takes out this one guy, and the other guys like try and go after him.
Well, the guy's taking a piss, bro.
Yeah, he
the guy
fucking
starts taking a
slams
piss.
him in the
He bashes
fucking
his head into the mirror. I was like, that poor guy. But then he gets fucking hit with fear gas.
Yeah.
And while Crane's like, while he's like freaking out about the
bats
bats
coming
and
out of his
shit,
fucking mouth.
and then he
cool as
fucking
shit.
lights him on fire.
That's a cool fucking line too.
Yeah.
It's like I think you just need to
Lighten up.
lighten up.
Fucking
That's
sets him
fucking
on
cool.
fire.
And he like fucking falls out the window. Fucking falls.
Thank God it's raining.
Yeah,
How
right.
convenient. So Batman barely gets away. He makes it up to a rooftop and he calls Alfred because he's poisoned.
Alfred, I need help. Alfred,
I have blood poisoning.
yeah, because he's in the back of his car. He's like, blood poisoning, my blood.
Alfred, my blood. My blood. I mean my blood.
Bad blood.
I'm Batman. I shouldn't know.
Oh no, my bad blood.
And then it cuts to him waking up, and then
You find out he was out for 2
2 days, and that Alfred called Lucius after he got worse after 24 hours.
Also, it's Bruce's birthday today.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Bruce!
Woo.
Fuck you.
Sorry we couldn't give you your parents.
But yeah, you find out that Lucius is there, and he made an antidote, and I think this is whenever you kind of confirm that Lucius knows he's Batman.
Yeah.
I mean, how does he not know by this point?
At this point, yeah.
And then Rachel comes by, and,
Gets him a birthday present.
Yeah.
oh, well, we missed the part where the DA guy that's her boss gets killed.
Oh, yeah, I kind of was thinking about that. I never took note about that.
I didn't take a note about that either.
I didn't
But there's
either.
a point where they go back to the shipping yard,
Yeah.
and they open up Falcone's.
Because there's that extra. He's like, this ship was supposed to have like 36 containers. It came back with 37.
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't know what this is. And to be fair, like the guy gave him an out. He said, do you really want to see what's in here? He's like, yeah, I want to open it up. And I
He's
was
like, we don't open Falcone's crates.
Yeah.
And then they open it, and they see that it's like, you
It's
find
the
out it's the
microwave
microwave weapon.
And
The
then-
microwave emitter.
and then they shoot him in the back of the head. And I was like, the guy tried to like get you to go home. So
But
really, you killed yourself.
we brought that up because you find out that Rachel her boss has been missing for 2 days.
Which in Gotham basically means I should call the morgue.
Yeah, no, she said she should start looking at the bottom of rivers.
Yeah.
And then you find out that Falcone was moved to Arkham. And then also this is like when it's confirmed that Arkham is in the Narrows.
Yep.
And that's where she's going. And then she says happy birthday and leaves.
And he gives him a present. And then he opens it up and it's the arrowhead. And those things says finders keepers.
And then you find out that Bruce is going out. And Alfred's like, no, you can't leave. All these people are coming for your party. And he says, tell him that joke.
Tell him that joke, you know.
And it's like, God, what a dick.
But then we get the cool transition where we finally find out what happened to the elevator.
Yeah, because he does a little Batman piano
Yeah.
thing. He goes, bum, 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 bum. That's not really what he does, but...
No, it's like bing, 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 bing. And like opens the secret tunnel to the Batcave. And then we come back to Lucius Fox real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Who's basically getting fired by Earl. Which comes back later because he's like, oh, didn't you get the memo?
Yeah.
I'm merging your department with
Archives.
Archives and you're fired.
And you're getting fired.
You didn't get the memo?
And then it shows Falcone in Arkham, and he's going, Scarecrow,
Scarecrow.
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 And then I just put, we are in Arkham. And then it shows Rachel, she's there, she made it there, and she's talking to Crane. And she's talking about how, like, it's very convenient that a man with no mental health issues who's in his 50s all of a sudden has a psychotic breakdown.
Yeah.
And she's like, what is this scarecrow that he's talking about? And he's like, it's a hallucination. Like, he explains it away. I don't remember exactly how, but basically, like...
Yeah, some sort of medical mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, some kind of bullshit like that. And then he talks about, like, the mind and how only the mind can grant you power in Arkham. And he does what he does because he respects the mind's power over the body. And she's like, well, I want somebody to come here and have their own psychoanalysis on him. And I've already talked to him and they're coming. She says, I want him here tonight. And then
She's gonna come tonight.
she gets in the elevator and he gets in there with her and he's like, I want to show you something.
What?
That's
Maybe
basically
he is
what-
coming.
And then he pulls out his wiener and they have sex. Plot twist, we've been covering a porno this whole time.
I think I downloaded the wrong Batman.
I think I downloaded the wrong Batman. But they go down an elevator.
Yeah, and he shows them they are dumping the toxin into the water supply of
Yep.
Gotham.
And then she just runs.
She finds out, she basically realizes that he's...
He's about to fuck her up. Yeah. She gets in the elevator and it won't work. And then he fucking fear toxins her and he's got his fucking mask on. I love the way they do the fear toxin, like where it comes out of him like it does, like out of his hand. I guess he got like a thing on his wrist.
Yeah.
It's cool. And then she sees maggots on his face.
Yeah,
And,
I guess she's afraid of bugs.
He's like, who knows? Who knows you're here?
Nobody!
And then it's like, I wrote Crane is also a fucking psycho.
Yeah.
And then you find out Batman's there, like you can hear him on the roof. Like,
Because
he's
I
out there.
put in my notes, Batman's coming for her.
Batman do be coming.
Yeah.
Or someone else is coming. Or maybe they're already there. I don't know. Maybe it's a character we haven't mentioned in a while. I don't know.
Because he's like, it's the bat. He's like, it's the bat. Like, what do we do? It's like the normal thing we do when people break into places, call the police.
Call the
He's
police.
like, they can't stop us anyway.
Yeah.
Like, we've been dumping this shit in the water for weeks, he says. So, like, it'll be fine.
Because he basically says that, like, the police can't stop them, but the Batman can disrupt them.
Right, yeah.
And I just wrote Rachel is going to die. And then get the, like, if they get the bat outside, the cops will show up and they'll shoot him.
Right.
And the thugs are scared because they start talking about, like, all the things they've heard about the
They're like,
Batman.
oh, I heard he could fly.
I heard he can just disappear. And then Batman drops in and starts fucking these dudes.
What? Did I
is
download the
what
wrong movie again?
That's really what I wrote. He's fucking these dudes. And then Scarecrow's like hiding in a stairwell because he's gonna fucking get his ass again. But oh god, I keep getting real gay about this. Let's cut some of this out.
What is it with you and Batman fucking asses, dude?
I don't know, man. I think I even talk later about fucking with the cowl on. I don't know, man.
Hot.
It was early. I was losing the plot.
Do you have a Batman fetish?
Maybe all gym bros do secretly.
I think we do.
Yeah.
How many times a week do you guys listen to Something in the Way?
Not many.
Not many.
When the movie came out, I listened to it a lot, but
See, I'm more
I haven't
of a-
listened to it then.
More of a Hero by Chad Kroger.
All right, Spider-Man.
Anyway, we are off track. And basically, Crane gets a taste of his own medicine.
Yeah, he shoots the shit back into his face.
And he gets all scared.
And
he gets all
Batman-
scary Batman face.
He looks like a fucking gargoyle.
He looks like a gremlin. Like the black shit's like oozing out of his mouth. He's like, "Rah."
And he tells him that he's working for Ra's al Ghul, and Batman's like, no, he's dead. And then Dr. Crane, he keeps talking to him, and Dr. Crane's like, Dr. Crane isn't here right now.
watched Ra's al Ghul die.
Would you like to make an appointment with him? And then Batman like takes him and like shoves his face into a wall.
Yeah.
Because I wrote knock the fuck out. And then he goes and grabs Rachel, and I wrote, oh, it's cold in here. What up, Rachel? Because her nipples are hard.
Yeah.
And them things could have cut glass, my boys.
real.
I said, shit. And then it cuts to all the cops being outside, and like there's a shitload of them there. And Gordon's like, what are we doing? And they're like waiting for backup. SWAT's on the way because they're also scared of Batman.
Yeah.
And Gordon's like, well, fuck it. He runs in there.
Which is another instance of Gordon being like, bro, do your job.
Well, also, to be fair to the other cops, Gordon knows that Batman's not gonna
Yeah, that's
attack
true. That's
him,
fair.
you know?
But like, I just like the way they frame it, where he's like, "Oh, we're waiting for backup. SWAT's coming," and Gordon's like, "Pussies."
Pops 6 guns out and gets in there, boy.
Yeah,
you know
bro.
what I'm saying? And then the
Bang,
SWAT
bang.
shows up. Batman, like, fucking yoinks Gordon up there because he tells him the skibby about what happened to Rachel.
She's been poisoned with her blood. I need to get her back to the
He's like, you gotta get her downstairs. Meet me in the alley on the narrow side.
And and everyone's like, because he pops a little thing on the shoe. He's like, "What's that sound?" I was like, "Back up."
And he tells him about what Crane's doing. Water supply, drugs, Rachel's about to die. Basically what he says real fast.
Right.
You know, the drugs are getting put in the thing. That's how he's getting all this shit through the drugs through Falcone.
And then here comes all the bats.
And then here comes all the
It's
bats.
fucking cool. Like a little bat swarm. He's like all around him. It's fucking cool.
I wrote, how do you do that though? And then I said, oh duh, the emitter on his shoe. And then I put, fuck, that's cool.
So he's able to get down the stairs with Rachel without the
It's-
cops interfering.
It's a really sweet shot
It's
when
a
he jumps
fucking
down the
cool
stairwell and all
Oh,
the bats
yeah.
are surrounding him.
Yeah, then he fucking lands gracefully. Does a cool ass superhero landing.
Yeah. And then he uses them as cover. Fuck me, bro. This is fucking awesome. And then he like uses these little bombs he has to like break through a door.
Yeah.
And he breaks through a wall.
into a cell. He's like, "Excuse me."
He says, "Excuse me," and there's like this two asylum
Inmates
patients
just like, "What
just
the
sitting
fuck?"
there, like, what
Yeah.
the fuck? And then first time seeing the tumbler.
Yeah.
in action. And he takes her in the tumbler, right?
Yeah, he puts her in the tumbler because
and he tells
Gordon like offers to go get his car, and he's like, "No, I've got mine."
I brought mine.
And then
it's
it's
fucking cool.
He puts her in the tumbler, and he takes off, and he starts like driving over the fucking cop cars and shit. And the cops are like, "What is he in?" And they're like, "He's in a vehicle." And then the cops like,
what make?
and he's
What
like,
make and model?
"A black tank."
Which I want to point out, that's the same cop from Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, really?
Like later on when he comes back as Batman, because there's that big chase scene, he's like, "Oh, you're in." Like the rookie's like, "Oh, we got to get to Batman. He killed Harvey Dent." And the old guy's like, "No, that's Batman. That's the same fucking cop. He was just younger."
Oh,
I realized it this time. I was like, "That's the guy that's from the Rises." Oh, that's cool shit.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I never noticed that.
And while they're driving, Rachel wakes up. And she starts like freaking out because she's poisoned. And I also just want to mention that the helicopter pilot is a very good pilot.
Yeah, because he like stops and like turns,
swerving in around the buildings
yeah,
and shit.
it's fucking cool.
And then Batman goes up through a parking garage, and she's like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "It's a shortcut
To the roof.
and then they get up on the roof of the parking garage.
They think they got him cornered. Like, "Oh, he got nowhere to go."
And then he just like,
Fucking sick roof chase is what I put.
That's
Yeah.
all. I would just put roof chase in my notes.
well, he like slides down into like the cockpit of this tank thing, and he's got a gun,
Yep.
and he fucking
The weapon
blows
system
the thing
online.
out. He blows like the top of the roof off, kinda, so he can get to the next roof. And I don't know, it's
Right.
fucking cool. And I don't know how these rooftops hold up because that tumbler weighs so much.
But anyway, he does this cool boost jumps over to the other roof, and then like they're like, "Where's he?" He's like, "He's literally flying on the rooftops."
and then it's also funny because after he gets onto the ground again, there's like another cop who's like, "Where?" He's like talking on the radio the whole time,
Yeah.
and he's like, "At least tell me what it looks like." And then it fucking barrels past him, and he goes, "Never mind."
Never mind, I found it.
And then the cops are like, they swarm him again, but he has the spikes,
Yeah.
so he's able to get away. And I wrote, "Fuck 12." Crooked ass Gotham cops, because they are crooked, like all of them
Yeah.
are. And then while they're driving down the street, and he's kind of starting to get away, but there's like the helicopter above him, and then he goes into stealth mode, which I thought was pretty cool too.
Like all the lights go off, and like he's got that screen that's got like infrared, so he can still see where he's going.
Yep.
It's fucking cool. Like, "Oh, we lost him. Where'd he go?"
And he starts wrecking every cop in Gotham,
Yep.
pretty much.
And then like he's coming up to this little intersection, and I think it's a cool scene because like he like barrels into the left median to like because it's concrete. It's like he barrels through it.
Yeah.
But they can't turn fast enough because like they weren't expecting him to turn into fucking concrete. So like
And
they couldn't stop in time. So he's able to get away.
And then this is whenever you find out the significance of the waterfall.
Yeah. It's the
Because-
secret entrance to the Batcave.
Secret entrance.
He takes this off road and fucking floors it, jumps. He's like, "Rachel, don't die on me." Because like she's getting ready to fade out, and she starts to die. He's like, "Rachel!" And he jumps the fucking tumbler. It's fucking cool as shit.
And then he fucking like gets into there and fucking parks, and he's like, "Don't die, Rachel!"
And he like jumps and gets the shit from Lucius that's on his desk, and then he
like,
fucking glides
he
back
glides
down.
back down, bro. It's fucking flying, dude. And he pops her with the antidote, and then he's like,
You gotta go back to Arkham and I'm giving you the sedative. When you wake up, you gotta go back to Arkham and give this to Gordon.
He's like, there's two
Yeah, two sedatives or two
two
copies of the antidotes. Give them to Gordon. One for him and the other one for mass production.
Yep.
and I'm not gonna do the Batman voice again because I don't know how hard it's gonna be for Jeff to edit it. But Crane was just a pawn. You find out. Then he goes upstairs or he tells her that Crane was just a pawn. No big deal. Not the actual villain of this movie. And Alfred starts chastising him for his car chase because he
Yep.
comes out and he's dressed up in his suit.
You told me I didn't do it because you said it wasn't for thrill seeking. And what do you call that?
Yeah. What do you call that? And he
Because
calls
I
it-
couldn't really fucking do anything.
He calls him a vigilante, and I think it kind of strikes a nerve.
Yeah.
He doesn't like that. And
She's
Alfred's
like, I don't care about my family name, Alfred.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about my family name. And Alfred's like, well, it's not your fucking name. It was your father's name.
yeah, and that's all he has left.
Yeah.
And then he goes out to the party. Earl is at the party, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And they start talking about how he goes and asks him like how the stock went.
Yeah.
And he says the stock soared and the company is secure. And then it cuts to Alfred tossing Rachel in the back of a car.
That was funny. The guy's like, oh, shit.
Yeah, it's basically like she had too much to drink.
Yeah.
Because he hits her with. She's got the golf clubs in the back, bro. And he
Yeah.
like knocks the golf clubs over with her body. And I was like, "Fuck, dude! You couldn't just moved him." And then it cuts back to Arkham, and Gordon's talking to Crane, and Gordon tells him that he can't stop it now. And then it's back to the party, and Bruce goes and tells Lucius kind of like what's going
You
on.
need to go back to make more antidote.
Yep.
Like right away.
And a woman takes Bruce and introduces him to Ra's al Ghul. He's not dad. And
Did you say that right? Ross? Raish?
Roz? And then I put Ra's al Ghul is there. And then I said, oh shit, it's fucking Liam Neeson.
Oh, Qui-Gon Jinn!
Deckard was Ra's al Ghul the whole time.
Because I think it's cool. He's like, talks about how Ra's al Ghul is immortal or whatever. And Bruce is like, oh yeah, he's like, it's just a parlor trick to conceal your true identity, basically. Which, which is like, I guess kind of a neat way to like make him immortal in the grounded to reality version that Nolan did. Instead of making him just, be
Jump into a Lazarus pit.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like, because like Ra's al Ghul is a fucking idea, which is what he's been talking about.
Right.
You have to be an idea.
Yeah.
Damn, bro, I just put that shit together
his
right
idea
now.
that has a daughter.
That's true,
Yeah,
too.
true. The child of Ra's al Ghul
Ra's al Ghul is the symbol.
may decline. Sorry.
Maybe the symbol was the friends we made along the way. To take one from
Oh,
Dylan.
shit, son.
Yeah. But you find out that Roz knows he's the Bat.
Yeah.
Like, he's telling him, he's like, you've been running around pretending to be a bat. And he tells him he warned him about his compassion. And then Bruce is like, alright, cool. And he grabs, like,
He grabs the champagne, acts very drunk, makes it seem like he's drunk.
and then has, like, a speech where he basically, like, makes an ass out of himself.
Yeah.
He tells all those people how they're fucking freeloaders.
Freeloaders, drinking up all my booze.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? Just go.
Just get out. The party's over. Leave. And they do.
And then that one old guy's like, your father would be ashamed.
Party's over,
Again.
kid.
I put he kicked them out because it's time to fight the League of Shadows.
Yeah.
And then you find out that the blue flowers are what was in the fear toxin.
Right.
And that's what
Crane was able to weaponize.
he was able to weaponize them. And he's going to release the poison and watch Gotham tear itself apart through fear. And then it cuts back to Arkham, and it shows where, like, the League of Shadows is infiltrated everywhere. Because 2 of the cops are part of the League of Shadows.
Yep.
And
And they
they
come in and let loose all their inmates.
They release all the inmates in Arkham.
And then blow like a giant hole in the fucking prison so they can, or in the asylum so they can escape through.
Yep. And he talks about how, like, they're a check. The League of Shadows is a check against human corruption. And
And then we see Zaz again coming out of Arkham.
Yep. Just all these people, like, all these
All of Falcone's men that got put in there.
the really bad guys, murderers and other things.
Because Fast says, it's the murderers, the blah, 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 yeah.
The blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then Roz tells Bruce that he is his greatest student and he should be standing beside him leading the League of Shadows.
Right. Basically, like because he says like you were my greatest accomplishment, but
Yeah.
I wish he would have said it. Would have been cool. Because like I wish he would have like you were my greatest accomplishment, but also like my greatest failure.
Yeah, because that's basically what he says.
Yeah.
Because Bruce then says that he will stand between
Stand right where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
Between you and Gotham.
Between you and Gotham.
Fire.
Also, whenever all the prisoners are being released, or all the asylum patients are being released, one of the guards gives Crane his scarecrow
Yeah,
mask.
it's time to play or whatever.
Oh yeah. Time to play. Yeah.
The game.
And then
Can the Batman come out to play?
they start lighting fires in the Wayne Manor.
Yeah.
And Roz talks about how they've attacked Gotham before with economics. So you
Right.
find out that they're the reason for that really bad depression.
Right.
So in a roundabout way,
He killed Batman's parents.
he killed Batman's parents.
So really, it wasn't his dad's fault or Bruce's fault. It was Ra's al Ghul's fault.
But he also mentions that whenever his parents died, the city kind of momentarily saved itself.
Right.
Because they martyred out the Waynes like they did.
Because someone else also says earlier on in the movie that the death of the Waynes like sent a message to the rich and powerful that they need to do something about it. It sent a shockwave through Gotham, I think so. I can't remember who says it.
And then Roz also says that like whenever someone stands in the way of true justice, you have to stab them in the heart.
Yeah.
And then they has fight.
Do they?
They has fight. Justice is in balance.
I think like he starts to fight the other guys and that beam falls on him.
But they have like mini fight. But he burns his. Basically, he tells him he's gonna burn his house down and leave him for dead like he did to him.
Yeah, because the beam falls on him. He's like, you left. He's like, you left. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, because my thing was Ducard is villain monologuing, pans back to Arkham Asylum, pans back to Bruce's house on fire. Alfred runs in to save Bruce. And then I have a quote from Bruce, or Alfred.
Damn, because I love that quote. It's like it sticks with me in the movie all the time.
What's the point of all those push-ups if you can't lift the bloody log?
You can't lift up bloody
Yeah,
dog.
I wrote that too. And then also though, you find out that they're calling all the cops onto the island that Arkham's at, and they're gonna raise the bridges. And then the guys they escape through the Batcave, Miss Wayne Manor, rip.
Yeah, and then while they're like traveling down through the thing, he's like, I let him down. I let my family down.
Yeah, because like the house is burned down, he's really upset about it. And
Yeah.
Alfred says the Wayne Manor or the Wayne legacy is more than bricks and mortar,
It's an
sir.
idea.
Yeah.
Just like, and then he says, why do we fall, Master Bruce? So we can learn to pick ourselves back up.
And then he's like, "You're never gonna give up on me, are you, Alfred?"
Never.
And he says, "Never." And I wrote in all caps,
Never.
Alfred will never give up on Bruce.
Never gonna give you up.
He'll let you down.
You know, until he does.
And then it cuts to
Batman in The
Arkham.
Dark Knight Rises.
And it's like the people are like up in a uproar because all the police are showing up to Arkham Asylum, and it shows Flash like threatening to basically fucking start killing people.
Yep.
Like threatening excessive force, and
And then you see Rachel coming across the bridge.
yep, she goes across the
And
bridge.
he's like, I'm the DA, let me pass.
And then also we didn't mention that Roz and his people get into a SWAT van with,
And
and
then
they
leave.
have the microwave
Emitter with them.
emitter with them.
And then like he's like, all right, this is what we're gonna do. And then while Rachel's coming up, like this SWAT guy's like being a dick to the kid that Batman gave the thing to.
Yep.
And she's like, hey, what the fuck are you? You're fucking police. What are you being mean to this kid for? Because he's like, I can't find my mom.
Also, it shows the train stop right over.
Yeah.
It does show that too, because I thought that was kind of weird, but then it obviously works out. And then
It's
little
just
kid asking for it, gets hit in the face.
Yeah.
And then Roz is there turning the thing on, and then he's like, "Time to spread the word," and the word is panic.
Shit. Fucking
And I just wrote, everybody is so fucked.
everybody sucks.
Don't come and get it. And the pressure main is one of the pressure mains is right under the Narrows.
And then bam, erupts. And then what their plan is, long story short, is to take it all the way using the train to the heart of the city, aka Wayne Tower, to do it completely and fuck up the whole city.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. Gordon gives himself. Oh, and also we didn't mention that Rachel gives Gordon the antidote like,
Yep.
right before that.
Yeah.
So Gordon gives himself the antidote real quick, and then it shows like Flash.
Well, he doesn't. Yeah, he's like, oh, hopefully I won't have to use it, because it's in the water supply. It's not. He's like, it's not gonna be in the lungs. And
Yeah,
then,
but he takes it like as soon as they blow it up.
Oh
He
yeah, I
realizes.
don't think that happened yet in that scene. But yeah,
Right, I see what you're saying.
but then the microwave emitter was like, oh, well, I guess I gotta use this.
Yep. And then,
And
it
then
shows,
because it basically shows that like Gordon and her are the only two that are inoculated from it.
Yeah.
So like they kind of do what they can to help while they can.
well, Flash pulls his gun on kids.
Yeah.
and Gordon
Because
stops
he's
him.
freaking out because of the gas.
And then the police commissioner shows up, and that.
Nails him in the back of the head. He's like,
And then they're talking, and he's like, "We need more people out here. We need help." And
"We
he's
need
like,
backup."
"There's." He's like, "All the cops are there."
They're all there, dude, with you.
Yep.
And who flies in? Fucking Batman.
I wrote Batman coming.
I put Batman Returns.
Dude, that's even better. All right, police is on the island. Scarecrow's on the horse. Nobody left to send. Psych, Batman shows up, and then they're gonna use the train.
Because before that, it's like Scarecrow first too.
Yeah. Because well, I think they're talking about how they're gonna use the train, and they're gonna
Yeah,
let
because
Gordon.
I literally put in my notes. If the machine gets to Wayne Tower, we lose.
Yeah. He asked Gordon Gordon and Batman are talking, and he's like, "I need your help. Can you drive stick?" And
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh shit, he's gonna let him drive the fucking Batmobile. Let's fucking go."
Yeah.
Well, the Tumbler, but still the Batmobile.
Yeah.
And then
And that's when we cut to Rachel being chased by
Scarecrow.
Yeah.
And she tases him in the fucking face.
She's like, "Ah!"
And that's kind of the last we see of Scarecrow.
Yeah, because
it's
at the
pretty
end we find out he's still on the loose
Yep.
as well. But then like Zaz and everyone else from the asylum come after him, and then Batman swoops in, kicks their ass.
And then whenever he's getting ready to
'cause-
leave. Sorry, go ahead.
Because Rachel asks who he is. And Batman says, "It's not who I am underneath. It's what I do that defines me."
Bruce.
So she knows it's Bruce.
Right.
And then I wrote, "Fuck yeah, gliding and being Batman and shit. Let's fucking go, bro. He's so fucking cool." Because when there's like shows him like gliding above everybody, and they're all like freaking out and scared of Batman.
Yeah.
Because he literally looks like Man Bat, and it's horrifying to these people. And
It's a cool shot though, where like he's like gliding over the city and his eyes are red and lit up.
yeah, dude,
He's
it's
like,
really
ah!
fucking cool. Then Roz hears all the people screaming.
He's like, what the fuck's that? And then Batman, what's up, dude?
And it's like, you really took the theatricality,
literally. Which it's kind of funny to be like, like if this was the real world, be like, oh, I just, it's kind of like being like,
That is a
he
lie.
just like a bat.
Yeah.
Are you calling Ducard Roz?
Yeah.
Okay. I was making. I still write him down.
Oh,
as
you were still
Ducard.
writing him as Ducard.
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes
Yeah.
sense to me.
Yeah, that's why.
does,
That's
for
why I was
sure.
kind of confused there for a second.
But no, can I guess because he kind of drops it after the banner.
Now he is Roz.
basically,
Yeah, okay.
You know, but he is also Ducard.
because Ra's al Ghul's an idea.
that has a daughter.
So really, is he the son? Is she the daughter of Ducard? Is she Talia Ducard?
Did Ducard even exist in the first?
Holy fuck!
The real Ducard is the friends we made along the way.
And then, because it's funny, he's getting away. He's like, I got a city to destroy. He's like, oh, well, you don't think I can take on two of your cronies? He's like, oh, well, okay then. And then he
two
brings
more
out like
drop
two
down.
more. And then so he gets away while they're fighting.
And then it's also cutting in with Gordon driving the Batmobile.
Yeah, because he does a sick fucking drift. He's like,
Yep.
it's fucking cool as shit.
And then
while he's fighting, this is where I kind of have this other note I foreshadowed earlier, where I was like, I put in my notes, these are really great fights, but I still, after everything, I still think of the Snyderverse had better fight scenes.
I can
Because
see
like
that.
that scene in the warehouse with Batfleck fucking them guys up, it's like way fucking better.
or like
That
the
flick.
yeah, dude, Batfleck. That was like one of the few things he did that was cool.
Yeah,
Like
I said earlier with these jump cuts, it's not a good fight choreography in my opinion. Now there's better fights I think in Dark Knight. Don't get me wrong, but this first one was not great.
And then it also has like all the people like surrounding Batman like right after he fucks
Yeah,
up.
because they're afraid of him.
Yeah, they're afraid of him, so they're trying to like attack
and
him.
he like loses the grapple gun. He's like, I can't reach it.
But he's barely able to get it, and he fucking shoots up and
Fucking cool.
just barely gets the train.
Yeah,
and
fucking
he's
grapples
exploding.
away with the train. It was fucking cool as shit. He's like spinning.
And then so it's cool because they have the microwave emitter on the train, and it's driving through Gotham, and it keeps blowing up the water mains
as they're traveling.
as it's going over it to like create more and more chaos as it goes.
Right.
And then also I wanted to say that Gordon got off the island because he had the commission, or he had somebody lower the bridges. He asked them to.
Yeah, I can't remember who.
I don't remember exactly how he asked or who he asked, but he gets off the island, and that's why he's able to go to.
Yeah.
Which is like a little sidebar, but you know, we're juicing this motherfucker.
Yeah, we are.
And then when he shoots at the train, one of the people that were holding on to him gets fucking tossed with him. I thought
Yeah,
that
that's
was
cool. He's
funny.
like, we flew a couple feet in the air.
And then they're coming for you, Wayne Tower. He gets in the train, and Roz is like, "Oh, you'll never learn." And then they start fighting.
Yep.
And
Yeah, and I put sick train fight, but I think Spider-Man 2 did it better.
I just remembered.
agreed.
They did fight because that's when he says you didn't learn to mind your surroundings, and that's when the beam falls on him.
Yeah,
I remember now.
they do fight. It's like a little fight.
Thank you. Your note reminded me.
Yeah.
That's what happened. They did get into a little fight. Fuck, I was wrong.
And then Batman breaks Roz's sword with his
Yeah, because he's like
You didn't
is there
learn
anything
anything new?
You're all Ultra. Is there anything new? He's like, how about this?
sword,
That's
yeah.
fucking cool.
But then Roz he takes his sword and he jams it into the train controls so you can't stop the train.
No, Batman did that.
Oh, I thought Roz did that.
No, Batman did that.
Why would
Because
Batman not
remember he
stop the
says
train?
well, who said anything about stopping it? Because he wants it to crash.
Oh, that's
When
true.
Batman when he blows the bridge.
Oh yeah, you're
Batman
right.
did it because he said you'll never stop this train. He's like, who said anything about stopping it?
Right.
Batman did that because that's when it pans to the controller and Graz is like, oh shit, why does it stop?
Well, after that, it also shows Gordon making it to Wayne Tower, and
He shoots out.
he starts trying to shoot the thing.
Because the guy comes up and is like, man, that's a sick ride.
Yeah.
And then he shoots the first fight thing. He's like, oh, okay. he like gets away. It's funny.
Tell me, get the fuck out of here.
Raz and Bat fighting almost next
Because,
to Wayne Tower. It's gonna blow.
Because he literally gets it and it breaks. And I put in my notes, he literally had to tear down his father's legacy to build up a new one.
Fuck, dude.
Fire.
Roz tells him that he's just an ordinary man in a cape,
I'm an idea, actually.
but he's an idea. And then they're getting ready to crash because he shoots down it keeps cutting back and forth.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Gordon finally shoots it down and
Blows the
starts to
bridge.
fucking blow up. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word blow up the bridge. And then he tells Raz that he should mind his surroundings. And he's like, he's not gonna kill Raz, but he's not gonna save him either.
Yeah, because that's after the whole, can't stop this train. He's like, who said anything about stopping it?
Yeah.
And then he like throws batarangs to break the windows and breaks the train. He throws like a batarang to break the windows, then he throws the bomb to decouple the train.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
'cause-
then like that's when he says the thing he said.
yeah, 'cause he's like, you finally learned to kill. And he was like, I'm not gonna kill you, but I don't have to save you.
And then
The train crashes.
Because in my notes I literally put, I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you. It's a cold line, but that's still basically murder.
yeah.
Because like I feel like there are other iterations of Batman that would at least try and save him. Because like that's all Batman's whole thing is that like no one's beyond saving. So I don't know. I just basically still killing him, dude.
And then the weapon blows up, the microwave emitter, like whenever the train
Yeah, it
crashes,
crashes, boom.
blows up.
Classic like Nolan practical explosion. It's fucking cool.
And then oh fuck, Batman gliding again.
Yeah, it was
'Cause he
sick
glides,
as shit.
kind of glides
He
away.
like glides down from the city. He's like, ooh, I'm Batman.
You know what I'm saying?
I had a note way earlier, but I figured I mentioned that since you were doing the bum bum bum. That the fucking Batman theme is fucking sick, bro.
Yes.
Boom, boom. It's fucking sick, dude.
And then Earl shows up, and then it's the next day, and Earl shows up to work, and there's a meeting going on.
He's like,
he
what?
is unaware of.
No one told me this was gonna happen.
And then he goes inside, and Lucius is there, and then you find out that Earl got fired, and Lucius has his job now.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I got a new job. Yours, in fact.
Yep.
And like
And
we
he's
saw
like,
Bruce on the other line,
oh, you didn't get the memo?
because Bruce has this cool sick ass callback too, where he's like, yeah, I made sure my company's legacy was secure, not our company, my company. Lucius like, oh, you didn't get the memo?
Bruce is the owner because they bought all the shares, or
With-
most of the
with the
shares
subsidiaries.
with
Yeah.
the subsidiaries that Alfred had.
As soon as the pump company went public.
And he says his company's future is secure. Fuck you, buddy. And
Get
then
fucked.
it shows Wayne Manor, and it shows Bruce Wayne covering up the well to get down to the Batcave.
Well, because it pans earlier too, and he like looks at the stethoscope and he sees that flashback of his dad again.
Oh yeah, you're right. And then Rachel shows up, and Justice is more about revenge.
Yeah.
Is about is about more than revenge. Yeah. Okay.
Right. He's basically like, you know, that back then I didn't have it all put together.
But now he does.
Yeah.
And then I put Rachel wants that Wayne Dicky Icky because she giving him them fuck me eyes.
I
She's trying to
literally-
get Stanky in her hang down.
Because she kisses him, and I put in my notes.
What?
She's trying to get some hang down in her.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I put in my notes, just like Spider-Man, Bruce turns her down for her own safety to
Yep.
keep her safe. And I was like, damn.
Oh wait, this is what I wrote. I put get you a little stank, Batman. Throw the cowl on. I knew I talked about him fucking with the cowl on,
Right.
bro. And then they kiss.
Well,
and-
because there's the whole fucking cool thing too about like, no, this is your mask now.
yeah.
Like basically, like Bruce Wayne is the mask because he's truly Batman.
Yeah, like your real face is Batman.
Because earlier she's talking about how like it's not the things you do, like, you know, you're kind of being a piece of shit, but now she understands that Batman is what they need. And then she also says maybe once there's a day where Gotham no longer needs Batman, that we can be together.
she says that Bruce never came back at all,
Yep.
and
But maybe one day when Gotham no longer needs Batman, only because it comes up later.
so really, honestly, like he didn't turn her down; she turned him down. That's how I took it. Because they kissed and shit, and then she was telling him all
She
that
turned
stuff.
herself down.
They turned each other
Kinda,
down.
yeah, kinda. It's definitely more mutual, but
It's like a mutual agreement kind of thing. Like, we
Yeah.
can't be together
pretty much.
because I'll fucking die.
But like even then, they never really like solidified that they were a relationship anyway. So
I just think they really care about each other.
yeah.
And then it pans to the
But she
Bat-
also tells him that her father will be proud of him, just like she is.
Right, which is the opposite.
Or
of what he
his
said in the
father.
car. Yeah, like
Yeah,
she's
whatever.
like, oh no, I was wrong. Your father would be proud of you.
And then it shows them like walking together, which was that what you were getting
Yeah.
at? Yeah.
And then he also says he's going to rebuild it.
Well, yeah, like this is like literally because she asks him like what he's gonna do, and he says, "I'm gonna rebuild it exactly how it was, brick by brick," which is what you were talking about earlier with the foreshadowing, where he's talking about he doesn't care about it,
Yeah.
and he wants to tear it down brick by brick.
Right.
But now he's gonna build it back up. And then at the end, because this is pretty much the end of the movie, they mention that they're gonna make some improvements to the southeast corner
Right.
of the
Like
estate.
sly thing of like we're going to make the Batcave better.
Yeah, we're gonna build up a fucking Batcave for real. And then one last cut. It's Gordon at the new bat symbol.
Yeah.
You find out that he's now a lieutenant. He got a
Couldn't
promotion,
find any mob bosses.
and he says like, like Batman, you're doing a good job because like Hope is finally on the streets now, which I thought was really cool. But you find out the Narrows are lost, and they can bring Gotham back though.
And then you find out Crane's still at large.
Yeah, and he talks about how Crane's still missing, and a lot of
a lot of
people
the
are.
inmates, yeah.
Batman's like, well, that's good, right, or whatever. And Gordon is like, yeah, but I'm worried about escalation. Like,
Right.
if we start carrying around semi-automatic rifles, they're going to start carrying around fully automatic rifles.
Yeah.
And he was like, you're walking around jumping from rooftops. He's like, people are gonna start doing things like that too. Like, and then he talks about a double murder and a bank heist that just happened with some guy who also has a taste for the theatrics,
Yep.
and he left a calling card, and he hands it over to Batman, and it's like in a little plastic baggie,
And it's the Joker card.
and he turns it over, and it's a Joker card, which I think is a really good way to tease the Joker.
Agreed.
I mean, obviously, we know what we know now, but at
Yeah.
the time, it's like, whoa!
what's gonna happen?
And then he's going to leave, and Gordon says, I never said thank you. And Batman says,
And you'll never have to.
and you'll never have to.
Fucking sick. And then he just fucking falls, and then boom, 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 Batman begins.
This movie is so goddamn good. In title card after the gliding, bro? Fuck yes. Alright. You guys have anything to add? I know I kind of barreled through that last little bit, but
No.
We kind of needed to.
we kind of needed to for a while. But, so who wants to go first with their rating? I just want to say one thing. I'm sorry, before we get into this. I think that, like, for a trilogy, this is like a fantastic first movie. Especially for a superhero trilogy. I just want to say
It is kind of hard to talk about all the other ones.
Yeah.
You can't just talk about one of them.
You can't.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, everybody likes it. And I think it's so easy. I'm sorry. It's so easy for people to talk about The Dark Knight because, like, it's really the only one that's kind of, like, on its own. But in the trilogy itself, like, it serves the purpose of establishing Batman as, like, a superhero. Like, I don't know. And I think it's such a good idea to have the Joker, even though we're not talking about that movie, it's such a good idea for the Joker to be the middle villain. Because it establishes, like, everything more so than, like, they kind of get the ball rolling.
Yeah, it's like all the people nowadays are playing the hits.
Yeah.
Like, just doing the things we've already seen before. And it's like back then it was perfect to be like, we're not going to start with, because everyone's fucking seen the Joker so many times.
Even then.
Like what Dylan was saying earlier with the fatigue,
yeah.
it wasn't there back then. And Nolan properly paced it well in the trilogy.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
But anyway, so I'm gonna rate this movie an 8. That's what I'm giving it.
Yeah.
It is long, and I don't like long movies. I know that, but I feel like you can't cut really anything except for like random. And there's not even really that much random bullshit. Like if you cut anything down, you're gonna cut like 5 minutes out.
Right.
I feel like
Really, you're not gonna cut too much.
you can't cut
Yeah.
too much because you're gonna start missing shit. So I give this movie an 8. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm done. Sorry about my Batman rambles.
No, you give it. I'd probably go about a 7.5 because it's like it's not quite up there to an 8 for me, but like it's definitely. I can't go. I wouldn't be able to go anything lower than a 7 just because.
No.
But like, I still think 7's a little too low. But I think 8's a little too high, so I'm gonna go with 7.5. But it's like he said, he is good. He is right. Like, it is a good way to start the trilogy.
I was gonna say 7.5 as well, just because like the first half of it kind of it's a little slower in the beginning and
Yeah.
kind of gets a little boring in the first half.
I didn't think it was boring,
before he becomes Batman.
but I do see your point.
I see the take, especially with a 220 movie.
Yeah,
Like,
and
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm not gonna say anything really because I mean you're literally talking to the guy who has like a war on long movies. Like,
Yeah.
literally last week I bitched about how fucking long Nosferatu was.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So-
it wasn't like Nosferatu level boring,
No,
But,
not
like,
at all.
but it's just like there's really not a lot going.
I get it.
In the
I think
first.
as a Batman fan, for me personally, it's not as boring to me, but like I definitely see. I'm not mad at that take because I see it. I see why someone would say.
Yeah,
that,
I agree
for
with
sure.
you too.
I just think as a Batman fan, I enjoy that type of shit.
Me too. And like I feel like if you're gonna build the lore set in the real world, like as much as it can be,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I think
think-
some time to flesh out.
I think it
yeah.
takes some time to like, cause you can't just start from Jump Street where he can just fuck people up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I see your point, D. But I'm gonna give it an 8 because I feel like for me 7.5. I don't know. Like there's movies that I would rate as a 7.5 that I would say aren't as good as Batman Begins.
That's true, but I'm also very biased. So
Yeah, I am too.
I'm also trying to like temper it for the movie views because it's like I said, as a Batman fan, I would give this a 10. I would
too.
give this whole trilogy a 10.
Me too.
But like as a fan and as movie juice and just as a movie in general, it's less.
As us becoming movie critics starts to take into effect more,
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah, because
I can't in good conscience give it any more than an 8 because there are movies that I will give a 10
Yeah.
in the future that also involve this trilogy.
like
So
I'm trying to take away the rose tinted glasses
Exactly,
of me, like
yeah.
really liking Batman and shit.
Right, kind of like
So-
critically, like
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
for
trying
the
to-
mass audiences.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure most people share your sentiment.
Yeah, like
The ones that aren't like fucking Batman dick riders.
yeah. So like
like
I'm,
we are. Yeah.
I'm just going with a solid 7.5.
Fuck yeah,
I think that's.
fair.
I think we all are basically the same ballpark.
Yeah.
Like, what it's
Yeah.
half a point
All right,
in reality. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
Alright.
I think we juiced that movie.
Oh yeah.
I think we juiced that Batman.
I think we juiced the absolute fuck out of that movie.
Yeah, we did.
All right.
Sorry for the length in advance.
But it's a long movie and it's very detail oriented. So I feel like there was a lot of things we couldn't leave out.
Well, alright. That's been another Movie Juiced. New episodes drop every Thursday morning. You can follow us on Facebook at Movie Juice, Instagram at Movie Juice Pod, Twitter at Movie Juice Pod. We have a coming soon website you can check out at www.moviejuicepod.com. If you have any suggestions for any movies you want to see us review, or if you want to tell us your thoughts on the movies we've already reviewed, or if you have any suggestions for a logo, email them in. We'd love to hear from you. Email us at moviejuicepod@gmail.com. All links can be found in our link tree, which is on all of our social medias. We are on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and YouTube. You can follow us all individually on Instagram and Twitter. Our handles are in the description below. We'll be back next week with Clerks, which is created and directed by Kevin Smith. It is the first one of the View Askew universe. And as always, I've been Dylan.
I've been Kyle.
And I've been James. And for one last time, this has been The Juice.